Hello, welcome to the Game. I'm your host, Rob, and this is Mr. Mick Wendell. Hello, sir.
You need better intro music.
The problem is they keep copyright claiming it. I don't know how to do it. Listen, one problem at a time. Right, we are very excited, rested and ready for an exciting conclusion to the HeroPhase Irish GT 2019. Mick, how's it gone so far?
The event's gone incredibly well. No major issues.
Two thumbs.
Two thumbs up.
From
if
me.
I had more, I'd give them. No major issues. It's gone very smooth. The players have all been fantastic. A lot of positive feedback, a lot of positive help from people. So, it's been great.
Yeah.
It's like I've had to do nothing.
Yeah, and it's also cool. It's pretty international as well. Oh, 80 Mac, thanks for joining the knee stabbing gang. 80 Mac. What's also cool is you've got German people here playing. You've got a Scot over here playing, a Spaniard.
Yeah.
It's international as hell. People from the north, but we won't mention them.
No, the bandit country.
The bandit country.
I'm pretty sure we have a Canadian here as well, an American, and a Polish.
Wow. Fantastic. All right. So a wicked event. I'm super pleased to be here. Thank you again for having us.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are excited as well for the final, because in contention to win the event is the Gloomspite Gitz. That's right.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So excited.
Well, I'm a little bit excited and I'm a little bit not excited because the final is neither of them are Irish.
Neither of them are Irish. You got a Nordy, is that right?
A Nordy.
A Nordy, is that
A
right?
Nordy.
I've picked up some of the slang. Is that right? A Northern Irish. Pete Pratt, the team captain for Northern Ireland at Six Nations.
Yeah.
Ex-team
captain.
Ex-team captain, sorry. And as far as I understand it, an absolute testament to his community there in Northern Ireland. And then against him, we've already had him on the stream, Clemens.
Yeah.
Clemens is back with his Skaven.
The German Night Warrior.
Yes.
Just coming out of nowhere, taking this place by storm.
Absolutely crushing it.
It's like the 40s all over again.
He also is in contention to win the event, as is Pete. So it's going to be one of these two people who win the event. Is that right?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay, good.
I think the top four can all win.
Oh, okay.
I would know exactly if I paid attention to the rankings.
Yes.
But there are four people in the top that I have a chance of winning.
Okay.
So, but if one of these major, I'm pretty sure they win.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, like, they have the best chance of winning, but like third place could win as well. Third or fourth place could win as well.
Well, let's get to the tabletop and let's have a look and see what we're looking at. Again, if you guys want to check out the lists, if you click the BIP button, it will tell you the list. We're going to talk through them in a minute. As you can see on the tabletop, that's what the terrain looks like. I've actually... Hey, did it change? It changed between rounds?
The terrain?
Yeah.
No?
Because they've done me over. Because this top piece of terrain is actually nullification. But never mind, I'll amend that. So that's meant to be spot on, effectively. But this arcane piece is going to be very important here. I think, and also having some mystical on those sweet-ass grots is going to be good. Grots have taken the top. Both players are 9 drops, which means they both rolled off to see who picks sides.
Clemens won.
Pardon me?
Clemens won.
Clemens won, showing that German efficiency straight off the bat. And then he chose this side, means he gets the choice in who goes first. And then Pete, but he didn't know about this nullification. Not healing again, null.
Yeah.
So important for me to talk about that. So that's going to be a big deal. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I actually think the arcane can be sometimes a trap. But in this instance, I think he needs it because the bad moon. So he needs to make sure that he's not getting... first of all, the Gloomspite player, he gets +1 to cast and dispel with the moon.
Yes.
And then it's -1 for if it's in your quarter. So that can be an issue. So the arcane is kind of necessary here. But the mystical on so many bodies can prove really problematic to go through the bodies.
Yeah, so Gloomspite gets such a strong army because of this exact thing here. They're immune to battle shock, effectively. This unit over here won't be, and nor will this unit be, but they're effectively blocking off those gnaw holes.
Yes.
To stop the teleporting, because you've got... Both lists are great. Can I just also say that there are 6 rock Troggoths on this Well, they're not on the field yet, but they're about to be.
Yes.
6 rock guts.
Rock Guts. They're so cool.
They're so cool, but are they good? Pete's won 4 games with them. How's that happening? He also whomped on Chris Caves Jr.
Yeah.
The round before.
And that's no small feat, in fairness, you know. So went to
wow. There's so many cool people here. Heralds of War, the organizer of CanCon, the quickest selling, largest selling Age of Sigmar event in the world.
I didn't even have a chance to see if I could even afford to go to Australia before they were sold out.
Well, that's yeah. So hey to you. Also, Mr. Studio Earthwood, big shout out to you in the chat. 80 Mac, Reflex Dog Training, Chris Danish, Mandollies. He's great, by the way.
So you know all these the tagline
if people
names.
introduce themselves to me via their Twitch handles, it makes way more sense to me. So it's really great seeing all of you. And who are you rooting for? Because it's going to be real interesting, I think.
Is it possible to root for the table to collapse and neither of them win?
Tom let high Elm Birds. I think we want Gitz to win. I've already fallen in love a little bit.
So here we go. If it was based on armies, I think Gitz to win. But I don't know how I feel about a Northern Irish person coming down and winning the Irish GT.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair.
So
that's fair.
But
so you're going to pick Skaven and the Germans.
Well, what I'm actually going for is a draw and the Irish person in 3rd or 4th place to win his game by a major.
A dead draw in focal points.
Yes.
Okay. It's going to be quite hard because even if the points stay the same, he still goes down to kill points. And it would be very interesting to see that. By the way, a lot of endless spells on the board as well. Let's talk about the actual map. We've got focal points. So, the scenario and
Gitz are the best, so I think I'd hope they win.
Gitz are the best.
Yeah, so
Gitz are da best.
Yeah, so they should win.
Yeah. As you can see... milking it, yes. There we go. Destruction meta. Hook and Pin is all about destruction. She's excited about the new Iron Jaws Battle Tome. Uruk Warclans. Uruk Warclans. Got to start.
What do we say about being PC, Rob?
Can we just? Are we calling them the Owls?
The what?
Owls.
The Owls.
Were you running the Owls? Yeah, they hit me. Owls. I'm not. But because. Last night, Clems, after the stream, went back and watched something. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Oh, no, wait, where's the objective gone? I was just about to...
Oh, no.
I think he's moved. There was Disco Rat. Oh, he's back. Never mind. Missed it. We'll go back to talking about the scenario. I'm talking over myself because I'm excited. Center point, is worth 2. Yeah. Each one of the others, which I'm going to mark in red, is worth 1 each, unless you score both at the same time on a flank, in which case you get a bonus point, so they become worth 3.
Yes.
So it's a very interesting game. Oh, we've seen the handshake for the first turn, and we're going to find out who's been given the first turn.
So Pete is taking first turn.
All right, been given the first turn. That's more important.
Yeah, Pete's been given first turn.
First turn. Yeah.
Which means that. Clemens has planned for this because he had the drop on Pete.
Yes, he has the drop, so he's in a safe bet. Twitch chat, who do you think is going to win? I saw Charles Black say that he's pretty certain that it's going to go to Gloomspite Gitz because Skaven are too static. The Skaven list has got the big bully threats here in the Skaven list are those 9 Jezzails. We're also rocking 2 blocks of 40 Plague Monks here, and we're also rocking 2 Screaming Bells, so loads.
And if there wasn't enough reason to dislike Jezzails already, but Jezzails are the reason that Disco Rat had to shut down his party. They're standing on top of the objective.
Yeah, sorry, say that one more time, mate.
I'm saying the Disco Rat, the Jezzails are the reason they shut down the party's been shut down. Because they're standing on the objective. Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, yeah, of course. Well, the party's quiet at the minute. Disco Rat will be back though. What we're saying. So 4CP already generated for the Gloomspite Gitz army.
Wow.
Straight off the bat. So Scragrot, who's located up here. In fact, let's take a little panning journey, all of us, through the Gloomspite Gitz army, and then look at the setup because I think that's going to be fairly important.
I'm always very shocked by how easily Gloomspite Gitz can get CPs. And remember earlier I was saying about people should go through the list of abilities and compare it to the units that they affect and see if there's any broken combinations. I feel like they did that with their command point generation in this, because there's not a lot of broken things that Gloomspite Gitz can do with command points.
Yes,
You know?
although I'm sure a lot of Gitz players will tell you that the Loon Boss is excellent. So you can see here, there's that objective being protected by that small unit of stabbers. There's a unit of 40 stabbers and 2 units of 20. There you can see that the Loon Shrine's got the other unit of 40. And then, look at those. You don't see those a lot on 4-0 wins at an event. Rock Gut Troggoths.
Has Disco Rat been replaced?
Oh my goodness. Is there not just Disco Rat, but Disco Grot?
Disco Grot.
Disco Grot. What's he doing? Oh my god, I'm over the moon about this at this stage. That is great.
So Disco Grot has now taken the commanding lead in Favorite Model Award.
Is he our favorite model to date?
Possibly.
Yeah, so, okay, well, great news that there's Disco Rot. Anyway, we got too excited about that and we weren't looking at the armies. Sorry, everyone. We'll try and concentrate and be serious about this game of monstrous grots versus Ratmen. And there you can see the Web Spinner Shaman who's on the board as well. He's going to be pretty important. There's a lot of casting that can come out of this army.
Yes,
and tons of casting. And that's actually really important, because if we look at the endless spells, there's a lot from Pete. There's a lot he can put on the board.
Yeah,
he's got
7 or 8 endless spells.
He's got Malevolent Moon, which is really important. Scuttle-Tide Quicksilver Swords, Geminids of Ulguish, Aether Void Pendulum. By the way, I'm just like, yes to all of those.
Yep.
Scrapcourt's Arachna Cauldron, which is amazing on the Web Spinner Shaman on Ragnarok. Soulslayer Shackles and Scuttling Gravetide. So he's got them all, and he just kept played against Change Host.
Yeah, so an interesting one that I was like, I don't know how useful or how the Arachnarok's Cauldron is. Like, why wouldn't you take an extra Palisades over it? And one of the reasons behind it is because apparently when you cast it, it's a good way to cast Foot of Gork on the spider, and then cast the Arachnarok Cauldron with the spider. You gain an extra 3 or 4 inches in distance between after you're teleporting the spider, and then you can charge with the spider a 5-inch charge or something, a 5 or 6 inch charge. So that's an interesting take on using the endless spells. Similar reasons to why why people are taking endless spells at the moment. There are all these little janky interactions you have with them. So
there is because they're all done in odd phases.
Yeah.
And obviously a book is written pretty much in isolation without the thought of endless spells in mind. So the application of those endless spells, although obviously the Arachna Cauldron was written as part of the Gitz book.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could have foreseen that, but
Gitz book is just great, isn't it?
Gitz book's a great book.
It's a great book.
And I think actually Peter, who is an excellent gamer, it really is going to be able to showcase what they're able to do. Because those Rockgut Troggoths, I was not be expecting to see on the board and doing well. So we're in the hero phase now for Peter. He's going to be casting spells. So we've seen Quicksilver Swords cast, and Clemens has not unbound it, and that's doubling up after Scuttle-Tide, which we've already seen going in the back here. And let me tell you, Scuttle-Tide, already I didn't call that, so I'm really, when I don't call things, I'm great. Straight into the Giselles.
Because now he has to move them out of 6 inches, so that they're not getting lambasted with mortal wounds.
I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Yeah, lambasted, absolutely, murderized, and that's a wicked call to decide to go into them.
Yeah.
Because Scuttle-Tide is just one of those really, really annoying spells that's got infinite range, and it really does give Grots that first turn strike capability. And I'm pretty certain Clemens wasn't expecting that.
That's a lot of that is. Yeah. In fairness, the infinite range is incredible. It's just any bit of scenery, isn't it?
Yes, any bit of scenery. Yeah. It's honestly, once you've played Gitz a couple of times, it's the bane of your life.
Yeah.
And it's that double of, do I shut down the Malevolent Moon? Do I shut down Scuttle-Tide? What am I really aiming to try and stop? If you've got the choice, even.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you're just taking the damage. And I'm pretty certain you talk to any Gitz player, and they'll be like Scuttle-Tide MVP. So yeah.
Well, I'm writing a list at the moment, and my list starts with the four endless spells from Gitz, because they just look cool as well. Yeah. But it is 250 points or something. They're so expensive.
Yeah, really expensive.
But I wonder now why Pete didn't put the Scuttle-Tide here, because now Clemens needs to move these guys forward to get them out of the way. Whereas if the Scuttle Tide was in front, they'd have to move back or sideways.
Well, so it affects units within 6 inches, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, right. So not just whatever it goes over.
no, not just whatever
So
it
it's
goes
hitting
over.
that character
So
as
what
well.
I think actually the plan is if he wants to move it away, there's no way. If he moves it over here, affects that unit. If he moves it over here, affects them. So he has to move it off. And if he moves it off so that it doesn't affect those, then it's unbound and he can
Yes.
recast it.
Yeah, very clever, actually.
I think that's if I've got those measurements right from the top high. If I have, that's just excellent positioning.
He's very clever, actually. That's
very, very clever. Yeah.
I love watching this. It gives me so many ideas.
Huh?
It gives me so many ideas watching these games.
Yeah, it's really good, right? Totally worth it. So, and then we've just seen Quicksilver Swords cast, and that's done. I think it did 6 mortal wounds into the Skaven, into this clan rat. So unit of clan rats, and a unit of clan rats. So they've done the damage in there. And that means that, and then Malevolent Moon has been cast. Now that's going to affect this Gracier, and it's going to affect over here.
There we go. There's our
so you
overlay
can see
there.
what Moon does right there. Thank you very much to our table boss for bringing that up for us. Calling it boxcars from both bells, double Vermin Lords. Oh no! Do you know what the chances are of that? Like statistically, it's like so low.
1 in 1,296, I think.
Absolutely, but do you know who doesn't care for that? Disco Grot.
No. It's Party Grot.
Or Party Grot.
And Disco Rat.
Not Disco
I
Rat.
I feel like we should have 2 different prefixes for them.
Okay, fair, fine.
So Disco Rat and Party Grot, because Party Grot is in the house.
Party Grot is in the house. Right, so still some more spells being cast here. Sorry. It's a 1 in 13 chance. It's actually a 50-50 chance. It's either going to happen or it's not. So Pete, I really liked Pete's take on this on the Underspell list. We need a disco chanter. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're done with Endless Spells. We've seen Malevolent Moon, Scuttle Tide, and we've seen. Did we see the Arachna Cauldron cast? Is what we're going to find out from our table boss, and then because we may also have seen that cast as well. But in the movement phase, Pete's already spent a command point to run his unit of Grots forward 6 inches.
So let's see. She's obviously going for the objective, but trying to be careful about what can get in range to charge them. So he's staying exactly 6 inches away, so he can't be charged by Plague Monks, is what it looks like. I think he's accepting the fact that it'll be taken back off him, but he's securing the 2 points for the first round anyway.
So what do you think he's going to try and do? Is this just a sacrificial lamb? A lot of the power that can be projected from Clement's list is going to come from these 2 units of 40 Plague Monks to go in. But if he does commit them into having to take the Grots, so I think this is really good. By the way, can we just talk about this? This is just great Warhammer. So this is a 6-inch bubble.
Yeah.
So he's committed a Grot.
Yes.
Yeah. So what should happen is Clemens is going to run his unit of clan rats forward and put in 2 Grots.
Yep.
Yeah. And then they're going to roll the priority roll.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What Clemens shouldn't do is take his unit of Plague Monks and charge. Yeah. Because even if he does, there's still another unit of Grots he can hit there. But what Pete's wanting to do is counter charge with with the unit of Rot Guts, in my opinion.
Yeah. Now the thing is, he is going to be -1. He's going to be -1 to hit with the Plague Monks, but the Plague Monks don't really care because they get to roll all hits, not just failed, all hits.
But they get an extra fancy. Extra attack. We'll find out from our table boss now whether or not Sneaky Distraction was also cast from the Ragnarok, because that's going to make everything wholly within 12 -1 to hit up the top. Web Spinner Shaman, Sneaky Distraction.
Okay, so we don't have Sneaky Distraction on.
Okay, all right. I don't think that's going to be too big a deal. I don't think that's going to be too big a deal, but it's still worth noting. because there's a web spinner shaman who's out there as well, and if he's got the sneaky distraction, so interesting, Pete didn't cast sneaky distraction or didn't cast Arachne Cauldron, potentially looking for that later game easy charge, like you said.
Yeah, well, especially sneaky distraction, I don't think is too much because I'd say this is probably only 12 inches to maybe about here at the most. I think I'm even being generous there, but so that'd be all that'd be hit by sneaky distraction if it was if he did cast it. So I don't think it is very necessary. But I think he'll want to get a spider into those into the fight before he casts it, because to make it relevant. So he'd probably use the cast for endless spells and just in better places, really.
I actually think the spider is often used. Is often used as kind of like a mobile, like gun platform. Okay, so there's this unit of grots over here has been pinned into the wall because the spider is keeping himself within range of this arcane.
So he's
got a +1 to cast.
So he's going to be in base contact with a grot that's in base contact with the wall.
Yeah.
So they'll still be able to move through that channel because the inch is slightly bigger than a base, so he should be okay if he needs to pile in or move away.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. So he's actually put the spider between two grots, and now those grots actually can't move.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
interesting. Question in the chat from Barbican there: do you think Cities will be strong? Hallowheart, for example. I think Cities of Sigmar will be a very strong book. I'll be excited to see what they actually can put on the tabletop. When we get to the list writing stage, I know for a fact me and Nathan will be talking more about it on Monday on the Next War Game. That's only tomorrow. Holy hell!
That was a quick weekend.
But there's loads of things that aren't just Hallowheart, right? In my opinion, there's it's going to be a very interesting book.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Oh my goodness! You know when you have you ever been to a party? And then there's like a bunch of bigger boys come to the party.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is our party now.
Yeah.
So it seems like Party Grot has been replaced by Party Grot Fungoid Shaman. He's just like, I'm at the party.
Well, he is a fun guy.
Oh, no. Oh dear. Okay. So the right hand. So this screaming bell here, Scragrot has pointed his pointy stick. I think it's called a pointy stick.
Yeah, it's a moon on a stick or bad moon on a stick or something. I don't know. Bad moon on a stick would be a great name for it.
Yeah, exactly. And he's done. He's done.
Two mortal wounds.
He's done 2 damage. Yeah, here, which means at the beginning of every turn, they're going to take an extra. Wound.
An extra wound.
And going to start.
Is that at the end of every turn or the end of every battle round?
Is it the beginning of every battle round? I'm sure someone on the Twitch chat can help us out there.
So but anyway, he's been marked.
Oh, Runax Gabe, what is up? Afternoon. Oh, the Funky Fungoid. That's a better name for him. There he is. Funky Fungoid. Funky Fungoid.
Came here for Disco Mouse, got Disco Shaman, was not disappointed.
Battle round, thank you, Mr. John Stark. So 5 max a game. Gitz throw the best cave doofs. Cave doofs? Is that an Australian term? Yeah,
possibly.
That's Gabriel T. Hanna from the Runax podcast. If you guys want to go check him out, gorgeous man. Well, not gorgeous, but like he's a nice guy.
Are you saying he's not gorgeous?
Right, so we've seen the ringing of the bell. The bells are a ringing, and this screaming bell is wrong, and it has scored the result that causes every unit within 26 inches on a 4+ to take a singular mortal wound. Yeah.
Do you think, thanks to Skaven's secret number being 13, that their spells and their abilities have a bit too high of a range?
Yes.
At 26.
You know? They're like, we'll double 13, and everyone's like, no, that's not how maths works. Stop it. There's also, don't forget that up in here we've got those rock gut troggoths. 6 of them, a unit of terrifying rock guts. They're going to go do the work. So they've all taken a mortal wound.
So this is -1 to hit.
This
everywhere.
is a big deal. Yeah, we saw this. So, I should be using blue. So, -1 to hit from the Screaming Bell that's here, and that is in a 26-inch range. So quite a big deal.
It is a huge range.
And
26
yesterday,
inches is just so big.
It's arguably too big and silly. But yesterday we saw Clemens actually roll both.
Yeah, and do -2 to hit, which is
Absolutely, yeah. And Clemens, just a real nice guy. Really, really a pleasure to have on the stream yesterday. And glad he made it back and is looking to play a bit of Warhammer. There he is.
You know you've made it more Warhammer when you get onto a stream twice.
Yeah, that's when you know you've done the work. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so Clemens has attempted to dispel. Sorry.
Dispel, yeah.
Dispel. Got to get that right. The Scuttle Tide, and that's huge. He's got to be really upset he hasn't got that off.
Yeah, because now he's stuck. He didn't want to have to move those Chazales, and now he's going to have to move them, I think.
Okay. But he has unbound the Malevolent Moon. Yeah. I think that's because what he's trying to do is set up his ability to cast Death Frenzy the turn after.
Yeah.
He's going to really want to get Death Frenzy off on those Plague Monks. We saw him do... and he's unbound, dispelled the Racist Swords, old Quicksilver Swords.
I'm not sure Dispelling, though, is the best option, because it gives Pete an extra chance to reposition them on his own terms, rather than have to hope that he can move them as part of the Predatory and Dispel phase, you know? So those swords are quite dangerous, and if
they do really, really good work.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting about Pete's casting is all it's actually done is set up, is reduce the casting that are coming out of Skaven.
Yeah.
And we saw,
which is good,
really good. We saw yesterday. We saw Clemens actually wait a couple of turns before he decided to cast Warp Lightning Vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've also seen Pete not put Geminids down. And this unit over here have got Death Frenzy cast onto.
Left hand side, I think.
Okay.
Who's left?
So we'll double check. Make sure we'll work on whose left it is. Your left or our left, table boss? Nailed it. He's absolutely nailed it. So Death Frenzy there. And it's cast on a 7, so he doesn't want to try and have -2 to cast on him, because you're only going to get that half the time anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just, it's going to make a big deal. And they've definitely drawn up their battle lines. Pete is going to go this way.
Yeah.
And it looks like now that Clemens is going to go this way.
Yeah, you kind of see which flank they're going to go up and take.
Okay. Yeah.
But then again, in the past, we've seen 2 players go for one side, and one player gets it, and one player doesn't, and they end up losing both flanks to the other player. So we'll see whose plan pans out better.
Oh, Perkysaurus, how you doing? Don't forget October and Warmus. I won't. I would actually. We're in the movement phase now. Now, Clems. No, Clems. Don't send forward. No. Disagree. Just put 2 in there.
He doesn't need to, you know. He could just put the clan rats up and lose a unit of clan rats. And oh wait, they are clan rats.
They are clan rats.
Okay.
No, they are the clan rats. But that makes me think he's going to go aggressive with the Plague Monks.
The other thing is, it also stops Pete from advancing too much further if he does get the turn. So he's stuck now fighting clan rats only. Mm-hmm. So it's not. I thought he was moving the Plague Monks up originally, but this could be an idea. But I would have tried to.
I disagree with this.
Is this the Plague Monks?
I disagree with this. Because he's looking, because Pete here at the top with the rock guts is looking to countercharge. I mean, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to 6 big fellas going and whomping on a couple of rats, specifically Plague Monks. Yeah. Who doesn't like to see it? Not me, because for 21 more days, I love Plague Monks.
If we just take notice of that, he moved the bell before he moved the monks, so that he'd still be able to move the bell.
Yes. That would have also worked. Oh dear. Right. So he could just be playing for the double turn, right? He could just be like, next turn I'm going to go in here. But But
is that? Do you play for the double turn?
But
if
that
you don't
unit's
need
not
to?
the unit with Death Frenzy. The unit that's moving is not the unit with Death Frenzy, as far as I'm aware. I will just double check that with our table boss. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so
that's the worst unit to move forward as well.
Yeah, so it's an interesting choice, but I'm sure he's got a plan. He's 4-0 this weekend, so.
Yeah. 8-pointed Star Painting says, I think my boy Peter, he's a scary player to play against. And Mando says, also nerves on top tables after 5 games to take its toll. I'd actually normally say that, but actually Clemens seems pretty chill.
Yeah.
He's one of 3 that have flown over from Germany to play Warhammer here, and I think that's wicked. You guys met through one of the WhatsApp chats.
Yes, the Zinch WhatsApp chat actually. Disciples of Zinch. It's great. I think it's amazing that people think are happy to reach out and chat and talk and become friends, and
This is the final. Yeah, agreed, absolutely. I spent my entire lunch working how I could block just one person in a WhatsApp group. Just one. All of the WhatsApp groups would be better if I could just block one singular human being from all WhatsApp groups.
But you couldn't find a way to block me. I am everywhere.
So yeah, those plague monks have moved and are looking forward to. It is the final countdown. That's right. This is potentially. Don't make me cut over to disco. Disco. No, wait.
Disco shaman.
The disco
Club
shaman.
Party shaman. We need to think of a new word for him.
Oh, someone put it in the chat earlier. But what I really enjoyed is this narrative that we've got going on here. Is that you've got disco shaman or party shaman here, just living his best life. But then he's got
Techno shaman.
Techno shaman.
Techno
exactly.
shaman.
But he's got his look at that. He's got his rock guts bouncer protector. Yeah, he's just got his heavy. He's just behind the red curtain, and he's just.
It's like looking at Donal and Paul Ray in a nightclub.
Playing what? It is like it's exactly like that. Funky Fungoid played against Full Trog Army today. Turns out they don't like Morghast or Arkai. Who don't? The Trogs. No, because also Clint Cliff, who he's also known as sometimes, who's going to make CanCon 300 people, is playing Gloomspite Gitz as well. So a whole bunch of people around the world started to pick up on the Gitz to play with. So
awesome.
Yeah,
I'm also jumping on that bandwagon, so make some room.
Pardon me?
I'm jumping on that bandwagon as well.
You're going to jump on that bandwagon too?
But I'm going with Fellwater Troggoths.
They're so good.
But the only mainly because I'm trying to minimize how much I have to buy, and I already have 18 Fellwater Troggoths.
Smart thinking. Right, so I think we're at the end of the movement phase. Shooting, I'm very interested in what the Giselles are going to go into. Okay, so he's going to try and... That makes sense. Whittle down a unit that's over here. Aaron Wilson AOS, I saw you ask a question earlier about the deployment of those grots, and I would say that that's in no way haphazard. That's intentional. If you look, he's blocked off. This has been blocked off, so there's nothing that can happen here. This is within 6, but allowing the very small, he has to move the furthest before he can get the charge.
Very clever.
It's much better than creating a circle like this in front, in my opinion.
Yeah, because they just charge, pile in, and take the objective.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you're losing it for no reason. I would do the exact same thing as Pete after realizing how pointless it is to kind of just throw it forward and just lose them. So
the Giselles, though, letting themselves down there. Maybe they've been spooked.
I was just going to say.
They are a bunch of rats with some spiders sneaking up behind them. They're
not used to being the things like the small...
Yeah, that is... Imagine you're the guy holding a shield with a gun on your shoulder, and then the rat behind your ear, everyone get ready for this, whispers in your ear, "There's some giant spiders behind us."
Let's see, Plague Monks charging here.
So the Plague Monks have charged, the unbuffed Plague Monks have charged.
That's interesting. He's putting the pressure on Pete.
So I think definitely going for the double, right? Because what he's looking to do is have them here, get the double turn, because Clemens has got the priority roll coming up, get in here, get into the rock guts, potentially get into the spider, and cause himself a mischief.
And the other thing is, right, so this side for Pete, this side here, is his strongest side. So I suppose in Pete's eyes, that side is getting through if he pushes. But Clemens is now pushing back, and he's going, you know what, I'm going to be aggressive. He's going to kill most of those grots. If he gets the next turn, then they're still stuck at this line here. They can't get further than that because they're going to be hitting into Plague Monks. So it is quite smart, because if he thinks that that flank is already Pete stronger on that flank, then he's holding him up a bit. Whereas there's nothing really holding Clemens up on that flank.
No, apart from what I would like to call the old switcheroo.
The
so the hand of gore.
Yeah, well, it's always something to consider, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so as well. And also, he's obviously also scored the centre. So we need to get Pete's score updated from round 1, where he scored the 2 back objectives in the centre. So he scored 4 points in round 1, table boss. 4 points. And then, which is not a bad start, but it's so much fun trading this centre objective. And working around. It's very weird because you effectively want to position a lot of your power kind of I'll do an arrow, in that direction. But you struggle because you also have to send units around and around.
Yeah.
So I think what Clemens has actually decided to do is he's looking to punch through, and he's got off the charge with the other Plague Monks as well.
Interesting.
A lot of threat there. Wow, that must have been a good old charge distance.
It's interesting because he's not going to have a lot of Plague Monks in either to fight, and they're going to be -1 to hit.
Yeah, Clement not using his movement trays could potentially have done that to speed it up, but not doing too bad. You know, we're 45 minutes into the round. We're in round 1. That's included deployment.
In fairness to him now, he's actually been very, very quick moving 40 Plague Monks. Like you can see, he doesn't. It's not like one at a time. It's like one. He's actually been quite quick with them. So he's obviously used to doing it, and he knows how long it should take. Yeah. But his matches haven't been slow by any.
He's finished all his games.
Yeah, finished all his games. So he hasn't been slow. No complaints there, which is very good.
And if you look, Pete also has got none of his. I personally advocate for the use of movement trays.
Yes.
Until you feel comfortable to be in a position where you feel like you don't need them. Oh, El Capitan WS10. I have got a treat for you. The Trog himself, that's right. There he is in the chat. Over here, my young friend, my bearded cohort. And for everyone else watching, look at those rock guts. Angry, furious.
So angry.
So angry. Right next to Disco Shaman. And they are just up for a
So here's something you also don't see very often. I've been using them quite a bit lately. Are the new command abilities. So Clemens has just spent a command point to reroll 1s to hit
on his Plague Monks.
On his Plague Monks, because they're the ones with the woe staves, so they don't have rerolls.
Wow.
So you don't see it very often. But he's only hitting on 5s, I think, with a lot of these. So
but when he charges, he gets an extra attack on the woe stave.
Yeah, which is big.
So that's big. So what you do is you generate an extra attack on the fetid blade, extra attack on the woe stave, and then you re-roll the 1s. I don't know. I'd still go for personally, I'd still go for
fetid blades.
The fetid blades, just to make it more consistent especially against minuses to hit, because you can't forget. Let's talk about the bane of my life. Yeah. As we all know, well, some of you may not know, one of my closest friends, Mr. Nathan Prescott, has been playing Gitz. My very first Age of Sigmar was against Gitz, where I found out about these guys, Netters. The worst unit in the game. Everyone's been talking about Sinesh Keeper of Secrets. They've been talking about the Vortex. These broke-ass, annoying grots have been causing nothing but contestation in my life.
Issues.
-1 to hit for everyone within 3 inches. They just throw in nets out like it's going out of fashion. And I
actually I had no nets from Fantasy. I all my grots from Fantasy, and I debased all the square bases off them, and I realized I've got no nets. I was like, I'm gonna have to buy so many boxes of grots. But you know what I'm gonna use instead? Scuttlings.
Scuttlings are such great models.
Yeah, because I have a load of them. I got an idea off someone in the Gitz chat, and I'm going to use Scuttlings as my netters now. So, they have webs on their asses.
Yeah, they do. Scuttlings are the grot models that were released with
Silver Tower.
in Silver Tower, and we all thought that was going to lead to a Spider Fang army.
Or something, at least included in the
something.
Gitz book.
But then they also included a warrior priest and deleted them all. So, yeah, more fool us. More fool us.
What do we expect?
So they're going to make the netters. What they do, is every model within 3 inches is -1 to hit.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
Yep.
It's a big deal, especially, look at this. This is the Webspinner Shaman who's on the board, sorry, not the Ragnarok. Webspinner Shaman's got Sneaky Distraction, which also is every unit wholly within 12 inches is -1 to hit. So that's why I asked about it at the top of the game.
Is it
so
wholly within or just within on the...
Wholly within.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that could be 12, that could be -2 to hit, sorry. Yeah, Gemini's is also in Pete's list.
And
So he can be putting -3 to hit out on a single unit, or on a couple of units actually. And
I think there's another -1 there somewhere. I remember being told that there was a potential -5 to hit.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what the other ones are.
I would have to. I don't know. I'm close enough. Close enough. -3 will do, and it's scary. So we're into the combat phase now for Skaven, and Skaven are rolling this unit of Plague Monks, which is just devastating, into Grots, lowly stabbers. Yeah, you heard me, Grot players. I just call them lowly stabbers.
And it looks like those Skaven are a little bit caught up.
Yeah.
In the nets.
Yeah. And whether or not they're actually going to do the damage is going to be an interesting one, I think. But they should go through Grots. They don't have much of a save, so they should be fine. Yeah. A lot of it. Yeah, the Silver Tower box set was actually really cool.
Oh, it was amazing.
Loads of great models. The Ogroid Thermitage, anyone? An ogre was also a bad guy.
Loved it.
Nothing more of that.
Yeah, that was a pity. That went into Zinch Arcanites.
It did. Yeah. You can still buy it.
But I was really, the Mystery of Versailles and the Tenebrous Shard, I was really hoping something would come with them. But we still haven't seen Techless Tyrion and Malarian Elves yet, so who knows?
I can't believe. Yeah, it's true. Berkesaurus, thank you for that in the chat. Hopefully, this combat won't be a net loss. Good one, Berkesaurus. Oh yeah, there were Death Runners as well. They were really cool. The Skaven, and then we just ignored them. Did they even go into the Skaven Battle Tome? So 14 Grots already dead from this unit, from the Fetid Blades.
Yeah.
The Woe Staves are about to hit as well. So if you can't be stabbed, can you get thunked on the head with a good old stick?
But even if you just watch him now, like look how he's actually being very, very quick and efficient with his dice rolling. It does take a while, but
yeah, the Ragnarok has actually got the Griff Feather Charm, so it's -1 to hit.
That might be the extra
but if you guys want to look at the list, of course, if you scroll down, if you're watching on desktop, you can see the list underneath, or if you press the BIP button on the overlay as you're watching on Twitch, if you are watching on Twitch, and then you'll be able to see the list there as well, so you can see what the lists are. Plague Monks are so annoying to watch roll dice.
Yeah, it goes on for a while, especially with the Woe Staves.
Forever.
Like, you know the way if you have two hand weapons, usually gives you rerolls to hit or ones or something like that. Woe Staves and knife, feather blades should just be one profile with a different ability than double feathered blades. You know what I mean? It should just be two different rather than two sets of attacks.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, they do take forever. This is still that first combat.
Yeah.
But which is why I really like seeing in the new Cities of Sigmar book and in the Uruk Warclans book the plus to hit and wound, minus to hit and wound mechanics.
Yeah.
It just feels a little bit cleaner realistically. Plague Monk dice roll often makes me just want to take the whole unit off the board rather than just waiting for it to happen before I take units off the board.
Never. Always make them roll the dice.
Yes, every single last one.
Every single one of them.
Yeah. They are frustrating, but they'll definitely.
Unless you mean take the Plague Monks off the board and throw them at a wall.
Then into the bin, and then to some plastic recyclable place.
Scrape the paint off.
How do you all feel about Monks though? I love them. They're such great models and a great unit to play in the game for 21 more days.
All right, so 22 Grots dead.
22 dead Grots. They are immune to battle shot though, which is absolutely amazing for Pete. That's exactly what he wants because he's locked. He's immune to battle shot because of the Loon Shrine here at the top. So this unit, the Loon Shrine here, this unit are all immune to battle shot, which means doesn't matter if Clemens wins the priority roll, he's not going into the Rock Guts, not going into the Ragnarok. which means that he's laughing.
Yeah.
So just pile in there, and those netters are going to start doing some work back into the Plague Monks.
And even if he gets the double, those Plague Monks are still stuck in combat. So that's not too bad.
I agree. And also, we might not see Plague Monks on the board for very long in the future, like in the upcoming meta. With the free cities out, the gyrocopters, their steam gun. Holy moly. It's about time the Dwarden finally started dropping some bombs on some rats. Yeah, we've been waiting 4 years for this Story Games Workshop. Thank you for finally doing it. Yeah. So 6 gyrocopters will do. That's not a lot of points. We'll just delete every single Plague Mon out there. Just bam, with their steam guns. I wonder what a steamed rat tastes like.
Probably not as good as like anything else.
Anything else at all?
Especially not a plague rat.
Steamed plague rat, please.
Sorry, what's that bit of green on my steak?
It's normally what I have actually after a night out.
Yeah?
Yeah, with some cheesy chips.
Is that where your vegetarianism draws its line?
Yes. So the Plague Monks are... we didn't hear, sorry. The Plague Monks, some died to the grots, which was the amount of... One steamed Plague Monk.
One skewered.
Well,
skewered
netted.
Plague Monk.
Yeah, netted.
Netted.
Yeah. And then the next unit of Plague Monks in the centre. These do have fetid blades.
Yeah.
The whole way across. They're going to pile in and do some grots. However, it doesn't really matter if that part of the field folds. I don't think Clemens has charged with enough, and they were long charges anyway to even go for. I don't think he's actually done enough to punch through, which I think means if I were Pete, I'd actually give the turn away to Clemens potentially.
Yeah, because I think I would try and keep the Plague Monks in combat so they can't move. So take away casualties strategically so that he's attacking way less in the next turn if he does get the double. But yeah, I think I would probably give away the turn. It also depends on the moon.
Pardon me?
It depends on the moon, where it goes.
Yes, it does.
Because can't it go straight into the centre?
The moon? Yeah, it can.
It can move twice.
So Scragrot, because Scragrot's on the board, he can move it.
Yeah.
But it start turn 2, so it's currently up there. Should have a yellow colour for that, I reckon. But yeah, the moon. Oh, I did this the other day. This was so much fun. It's up there. That amazing.
So it's a crescent moon, is it? The bad moon.
Yeah, it's
the
currently
bad moon is a crescent moon.
Crescent moon. Then it goes to here and it becomes full moon.
So you know when I think of the bad moon,
Total eclipse.
I want Jaffa cakes now. Whenever I think of the bad moon, I think of the moon at a Majora's Mask, the big angry moon running towards Earth.
Good night, Gabe. Look after yourself. Brad Pitt Lord says that's a banana. No, you just don't understand how moons work, man.
You're a banana.
Also, I just want to say to OJ official. He says Steam Steam purges plagues.
Oh,
yeah.
Very good point.
Yeah.
That makes it okay then.
That's fine. It's fine. And also, big shout out to Crazy Horse who went vegetarian 5 weeks ago. Not as hard as we met over at NashCon, and then he was like, "Do you know what? I'm going to go for that," and he's doing it. Also, create some amazing 3D printed terrain. I'll get him in touch with you.
Awesome.
Yeah, because you guys are going to it's going to get better and better over here in Ireland to play Age of Sigmar in.
Hopefully,
so I'd travel over.
Fingers
plus
crossed.
we're what, like 10 minutes away from centre Dublin.
Yeah.
So you could have a grand old time.
It's funny, like a flight to Dublin and getting into the city centre is probably quicker than driving to London from Nottingham.
Yeah, that's true. I'd rather actually get a flight over here than I would ever travel to Heathrow, which is just where I go to start my journey. Yeah, this is a nightmare. Right, anyway, it's still in this combat. Oh, come on. Come on, Plague Monks. We all want it to hurry up. I love you guys. And I think that we've called what's happening next. So things to watch out for. Scuttle-Tide. It's doing its work down here.
I love Scuttle-Tide.
Scuttle-Tide. There's two Screaming Bells. They're important. And the Plague Monks. In retaliation, we've got going on. The Rock got Truggoths. We've got loads of endless spells. We've got the Arachnarok Cauldron. We've got Scragrot just over here. There's a lot. And those Plague Monks only killed 10 grots.
That's not a lot.
It's really not enough. And don't forget, though, that unit's got Death Frenzy on.
Yeah, true. I think if I was Pete, I would have taken some out of combat, but I think he wants to try and kill some Plague Monks. Oh, he is taking them out of combat.
Yeah, I think the next turn he's just going to withdraw. He's just going to leave them in there and then just whittle them down with spells.
Yeah. So now it looks like he's what's he doing here? Let's see. He's taken 7 off, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Okay. I thought he might have taken a few more here, like maybe this guy here.
Oh, we still got some more coming away.
Oh, he did take him off.
So yeah, that centre field is kind of like been kept a little bit. There we go. So it's a little bit neater now. That looks good. So there's a gap here for next. I think he's just going to have 2 of these locked in.
Yeah.
I think. And then also, this is just endless spell fodder.
Yes.
Hit 3 units at once. D3, D3, D3. Onto those 3 units. Just constantly be hitting them. It's a big opportunity there to do some work.
I wonder if Pete misses having palisades in this as well for the extra wall. The immovable wall as well, so it doesn't move like the spiders or the Gravetide.
Yeah, having palisades out there would do a lot, but he's got a lot of spells. So he's got suffocating Gravetide. We still haven't seen Shackles go down.
Nope, not yet.
Yeah, we've got a lot of short range spells we haven't seen be cast. So I really do think that it's going to be an endless spell bonanza. And I think if Clemens gets the turn, all right, the priority roll is coming up. Here we go. Blue for Clemens and red for Pete.
So Pete gets a mighty 5.
Ooh.
Pete gets. So Pete's taking it.
Wow, look at that fast decision making.
Yeah.
Not only has he won it, and also made me look like a fool.
Yeah,
he's won it and taken the turn straight away.
Well, he obviously had a plan for that. Then he obviously thought that if he gets the turn, he has a game plan, and if he doesn't, he set himself up for it. So he's obviously planned ahead, which is very good for Gloomspite. Same for like Change Host and Skaven players. It's good for people who have slow armies to make decisions before. They actually have to make them. So
yeah, they get prepped. I think it's going to be important. Scuttletide's going to move. Don't forget. They're not going to forget the endless spells moving with Scuttlitide.
This must be the moon, is it?
Yeah, this is the moon. See where the moon is going.
What's this?
But we'll find out from our table boss in a moment. But Pete deciding to go straight away first means he's going to be able to do a lot of damage into those Plague Monks, which are some of the really serious threats. He hasn't yet neutered the Giselles, but he has started to threaten the Giselles and also the Warlock Bombardier here at the back. So he's got some real good options. And also, yes, we are going to see a Trog charge. So I'm almost certain.
So it looks like he's generating a bunch of CPs. That's what Pete was rolling for just there.
Yeah, El Capitan says Rock Gut Brothers are going to do work, hopefully. Pete's gone up to 8 command points, and we're gonna find out where the moon is on the table and where it moved to, and also. Okay, and then we're going to make sure that the players remember that Scuttlitide has obviously got to move as well. There we go. Easy peasy.
So the moon was actually on that corner.
And it's going there.
Yeah. So
there be the moon.
So the moon is in, this quarter of the board?
Oh, yeah, no problem.
It's affecting all that, which is cool. I like that, though, that it doesn't matter where the moon is, as long as you know what quadrant of the board it's in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, the spiders, like we talked about earlier, we predicted they're going to move off the back of the board. They should. Just keeping it on the board.
He's being very smart.
And so he doesn't take it off to dispel it. That means that he can't use it again. It just does mean he can still threaten the next turn. Moving Scuttlitide back.
How far does the Scuttle Tide move?
6 inches. What buffs do Trogs get under the moon? Under the moon, Trogs get to re-roll their healing save, which is a terrible buff under the moon.
That sucks.
It sucks. They don't even get more, they just get to re-roll the amount.
Why can't they just become more rock gutty? Like,
how would we write more rock gutty?
Like, I don't know, better save, give
Yeah,
them like
better
a
save
mortal
would be
wound
cool.
save
Yeah.
under the moon.
Yeah.
The racist swords have come back with a vengeance.
Here we go.
I see you played an Office Spoonie before.
I see you've played against Chaos in a previous game. The racist swords are what we call the Quicksilver swords because they specifically don't like chaos. It's not the first instance of racism, actually.
No.
Several things have happened in Age of Sigmar that have caused that to happen. One of the most famous ones, obviously, is Bastiladons with their laser beams.
Oh, yeah.
They do extra damage against demons as well, another
Yeah.
form of racism. And also, when Chaos decided to emigrate to the mortal realms, you found that Sigmar decided to close them off with a giant wall. So there's been narrative and gaming.
Oh, wow.
8
mortals.
watts. The race. We just found out that the
I assume it's to this, is it?
the Screaming Bell. All right.
Nice.
Yeah. So the Screaming Bell take 8 mortal wounds. He already took 2 from Scragrot before.
So that's
10 damage.
10. And is he taking any more mortal wounds from the Bad Moon Stick ability? Okay, so he's taking another one. Amazing. Yeah. So the one thing, actually, I'm not a big fan of the racist abilities because it's very hard to point for them.
It
you
is.
know? Because, like, so you have, for example, Stormcast Sequitors. They absolutely obliterate Nighthaunt with their ability. But Nighthaunt don't have an in-kind response for that.
Also, they don't have a showing in the competitive scene.
Nope.
So,
or I don't even think they have a showing in the casual narrative scene. But no, it's if you have
which is a shame though, because the narrative for the Nighthaunt is amazing, especially the books from Black Library, which are particularly good. That you buy on paperback if anyone wants to pick them
and they're
up.
beautiful models.
Yeah, agreed.
They're actually beautiful models. But the point is, like, they used to have like dwarves and goblins, night goblins hated each other. So they had an ability against each other. And that kind of, like, you don't have to point for it then. You just go, okay, well, we have it against each other, so it cancels out in terms of power. But you don't have that with racist swords.
No, you don't.
You know, chaos just get kind of boned by it. And that's...
So we're seeing now the moon, the malevolent moon has also been cast, and then we're seeing D3 mortal wounds going into the plague monk. So 3 have been lost. We're also going to see some mortal wounds going into the Screaming Bell. So that's potentially another mortal wound, maybe not. Oh, but he saved it with his Blessing of the Horned Rat. That's what the ability is called, a 5+
Nice.
DPR. In the chat, Bargirl Berlin says, "Go Clemens, fire emoji." So it looks like Clemens has got a fan, which is good because he's also got Disco Rat.
Is he back? Is Disco Rat back?
No, well, he's back, but he's lost his disco powers.
Oh, yeah.
Because they stole it. Because on top of the disco,
Someone killed that Giselle.
Someone killed that specific Giselle. Oh no! Gravetide's just come out as well. So that's going to take up a lot of board space.
Yeah, it is a quite obnoxious spell.
Interesting decision to put it there. I didn't know everyone could see that. I was just moving on the camera around. Sorry, everyone. Is he from Phalandra says, is he from Berlin or Potsdam? I'll ask that question. We'll find out if Clemens is from Berlin or Potsdam. We're not 100% certain. We'll find out what he thinks there. There he is.
Potsdam.
Potsdam.
Oh,
Potsdam.
Potsdam. Oh, Potsdam. Yeah.
Potsdam.
So Potsdam.
That's the most accurate thing I will have ever said about another country or place. If I got even close to right. Yeah.
Clemens should know that Bargirl Berlin is cheering for him.
Yeah, she is.
Bargirl.
Yeah, is cheering for him at home. He is from Berlin. Potsdam is a city. Whatever that means. That's lovely. Well, there he is. Look at him.
Mrs. Clemens.
Look at him, gorgeous fella, playing his heart out and doing his whole country proud, and looking to steal away from you and the Irish all of your loot and gold. Did that wrong. There we go.
You'll never take my pot of gold.
Thank you, everyone, for the geography in the chat. You may not be aware of me as an individual before, but if you were, you would know that I am arguably one of the most ill-educated on geography you'll ever likely to meet.
Challenge accepted. I didn't know Ireland was an island.
Oh, okay. Anyway, let's talk Warhammer. So we've seen the Gravetide go there. It's quite a short-range cast spell.
Yep.
And it's moved forward a tiny bit. Oh, okay. And the guillotine. Right here, you can see the Aether Void Pendulum has been cast. So again, more Plague Monks dying. And 4 grots have been killed. So he actually guillotined his own grots, which is so not the party. Can we just talk about this party shaman, who obviously cast it? He cast it in that straight line there. That is not the party.
That's not cool.
It's just not. It's not on.
He's obviously drawing, though. You can kind of see he's drawing a bit of a line here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's keeping them from moving. He's separating the Plague Monks.
Yeah.
So now they can't move sideways. They have to move straight forward. But if they move straight forward, they get an objective. So I don't think that's a bad thing. But then he has his rock gut Troggoths over here. So
yeah, those in my opinion, those rock gut Troggoths are going straight there into that unit of Plague Monks.
They're death frenzied, aren't they?
Yeah. So the unit of Plague Monks in the centre are death frenzied. So I think what Pete's going to do is leave them alone. But it's now crunch time when it's starting to score points, because that unit of Plague Monks in the middle with Death Frenzy, which basically means if you hit me, I'll hit you back, they're holding that centre objective, so he's going to have to try and deal with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clemens also has no command points. We'll get that double checked, but he has no command points. I think that this unit of Plague Monks, I don't know if that's 12 inches.
Well, they used the command. Yeah, they used the command point last turn to reroll 1s to hit. Ooh!
But that Screaming Bell only has 2 wounds left, and if Pete is able to take out this here, then this unit will not be able to be immune to battle shock.
Correct.
From the bell.
Because this is definitely not 26 inches.
No.
So.
Mick, how can you tell an Irishman is having a good time?
Jeez, that's a tough one. Because we don't really give a shit about anything.
So close to not swearing.
Oh, damn it!
Is it because he's doubling over with laughter?
Yeah. Was that a joke on Dublin?
Yeah. From Percusaurus in the chat.
Usually, if we're fed or have a pint in our hand, we're happy.
Okay. Like you're taking the question real serious. It's just a setup for a gag, but okay. As long as you're happy, that's what I really care about. Oh, he's also cast Geminids. This turn alone, we've seen Pendulum cast, we've seen the Racy Swords cast, we've seen Malevolent Moon cast, we've seen Gravetide cast, and now we're seeing Geminids be cast.
Yeah, this Geminids is a great. It's just an unbelievable spell because it's just such high range, and it just does so much. Like it hits everything it touches. It affects. No other spell in the game does as much as Geminids does.
We did a show on this on the US Wargamer recently, and I just said if you aren't you need to genuinely write me a letter to justify why you aren't putting Geminids in your army every time that you don't.
Correct.
And that includes even if it starts off with I don't have a wizard. I still.
Yeah. Why aren't you just bring the wizard? It's just so good.
So the big question is are we going to see? This is the drama, everyone, ladies and gentlemen at home. Clemens doesn't want it to happen. Here's a save. Oh, it's only 1 save, so it doesn't matter. He's got one wound left. Oh. Oh my gosh, so that is huge. Now, however, we haven't got into the shooting phase, and there is a moon, and it is attached to a stick, and it's ran by a man, Scragrot. By the way, Scragrot has a cave in which, so that's a little grot shaman. That's kind of the king of the grots. He's, I don't know where he is currently.
I think he's behind. Yeah, he's directly behind the.
Oh, we can actually see we can actually see the moon.
There's Scragrot there.
Yeah, that's his moon on a stick that he's got. He, by the way, has this really cool thing where he takes his grots, he makes them jump out these caves, and they kidnap prophets and wizards from the mortal realms. He then takes them back and he captures their souls and puts them into giant mushrooms, which he has in a secret cave, which he has locked up. And he goes in there to consult them about portents of the future.
I love the man who thinks of all these stories. Definitely something to do with the mushrooms he was on.
If that guy's not taking mushrooms, like he should, because the stories will get even cooler.
Yes.
Pokesaurus there in the chat saying, Chef Darf Eke, which is German for Go Clemens. You've got some supporters from home watching. Potentially winning on the TV is always exciting.
Definitely.
Winning
it's way better than losing on the TV.
Way better than losing on the TV.
But those rock guts are coming out now to have a bit of fun. I believe the -1 attack. The -1 attack Geminid hit the fetid blade worst words. The stave.
Yes.
Plague monk. So I think they're -1 attack for each of their profiles. So yeah, that's correct. Which means he's really reduced the output from those plague monks, and those rock guts could really go in and do some damage to them.
You mean those giant? The march of the Troggoths has begun.
The march of the Troggoths.
Look at them. They're like, you're not even. You're. Yeah. They are lined up, ready to rock. Trog smash is the official phrase, I think.
Yeah. So these plague monks are actually -1 to hit, not -1 attack.
Oh, okay. Because of Geminids.
Because of Geminids. And -1 to hit because of Netters. So -2 to hit.
-2 to hit. -2 to hit because of Netters. Well, only for every model within range of a Netter.
Inches, yeah. Which should be, if placement is done correctly, which should be most of them.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to play your Netters really well.
Yes.
And spread them out, but it's on. It's Trog smashing time. I think Pete's going to win everyone's hearts if he goes 5-0 with a unit of Trogs in his army.
Yep, the first Northern Irish player to do really, really well with a Gloomspite list and potentially go 5-0 in a singles tournament and win it.
Yes, yeah.
The only Northern Irish player that anyone really cares about as well with Gitz.
Oh, okay. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Gloomspite Gitz actually also took out our GT warm-up back in April. Andy Farrell was here today. He actually won with a fairly, what would you call it, a variety list. So like squigs, trogs, things not
a
this
mixed arms list.
A mixed arms list. There we go. I'm so bad with words sometimes.
That's okay. You're doing great. I think, can we all just get a big shout out for how well Mick's done over the weekend? Covering 5 games of Warhammer can be taxing, and you've done excellent. So thank you.
Ah, no problem. It is quite tough.
So is our table boss Nathan.
Yeah.
He's not got the airtime he deserves, but he's been a treasure. Yeah, and has done the entire thing just looking calm, cool, and collected.
Can we get him?
Oh, absolutely, not an issue.
Let's see. There he is. Oh, hey, baby.
There you go. That's what a table boss looks like. Yeah. Who look at that. And behind him, the whole
smouldering look.
The whole of the.
Give us a kiss.
There you go. Jimmy says, "Well done, Mick." And then Mandoli says, in my last tournament, I used Sinesh. I didn't want to dilute it with weaker stuff like Geminids. Yep, I won. It's Sinesh. I've retired the army now. I need stuff free cities.
Have I got naked yet? No, I'm not allowed today.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Although, you can see right over there is my dressing gown.
Yes. Which you wear to tournaments so you can be relaxed.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, only apt and appropriate.
I literally bring them to every tournament. It's just too warm to wear it this weekend.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. There you go. Mick, the wizard Wendell doing great work.
Do you know, actually... the bell's dead!
Sorry, what were we talking about? So the Screamer Bell has died to the moon on a stick in the shooting phase, I'm almost certain. We'll find that out. The shooting phase?
That's pretty big, because now he doesn't have to...
The moon on the bloody stick. Oh, my God.
Can we just, get a moment to realise that the Screaming Bell got bopped to death? Bop.
Yeah.
So,
that's the equivalent of being murdered by a wiffle bat. Yeah. Someone at home with a foam stick murdering me.
Right. Grots are in, or the Trogs even are in.
The Trogs, it's Trog Smash time. Can we get like a big holler for Trog Smash in the chat? Because I'm excited. Trog Smash. It's just they are gonna do some work. Rockgut Trogos really can do the output, right? We'll just get this.
I'm concerned as to why the Twitch chat want me to get naked so much.
Don't trust them. They're both your friends and your enemies all at the same time. All right. So they've got 2 attacks each.
Yep.
3s, -2, but 3 damage.
Yeah, they're pretty. And that's the thing. The 2 attacks, I think, is what hurts them the most.
Why is it 2?
I know.
Wow, excellent play by Clem there.
Yeah.
Excellent play.
So these guys, much to my disbelief, that's 26 inches.
Yeah.
So,
well, they measured it.
And to be honest, even if it wasn't, I imagine Clem would take casualties from this side of the rats anyway.
Yeah.
So he'd be able to pull himself in.
So there to there, so here to here is 24 inches. And obviously there's about 4 inches beyond there as well.
Yeah.
And then it's 26. More, yeah. So I reckon that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's close though. It's very close.
Do we think it was intentional?
And a great use of the grid overlay.
Yeah.
I'm really happy we did that. Also, Combat Phase Podcast, thanks for the 500 bits donation. 500 bits for impromptu fun-going cave rave. Great job. Oh, you want to get a cave rave? I can get you a cave rave in half a moment. Oh, so the Trogs have smashed. Let's go to them quickly. Oh, the action's hotting up too much. The cameraman can't keep up. It's because it's me. Come on, where are they? Oh, I've lost it. Oh, I don't know. It's too late. Sorry.
So 12 plague monks bite the dust.
Oh,
Ooh.
but a Trog died from the explosion. It's what happens if you... I don't know if you've ever swung a plague-infested rat against a wall.
Yeah.
It used to be what we used to do in Nottingham on a Saturday to pass the time. But sometimes the ichor and blood can explode off the wall onto your face.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
And then sends you to the hospital. It's normally what happens.
Is that what happens when you play Colin Cochrane?
Me and Colin Cochrane are often swinging like plague-infested rats around by the tail. So yeah, those they did a great job there. Well done. They killed 12 plague monks.
See, the 2 attacks in the rock guts is the other reason why I'm actually tending towards the fell waters. I just 2 attacks bothers me because it's like straight away you don't have a lot, and I like volume. I like weight of attacks. I like having more. So that'd be one reason why I'd go for the fell waters instead. And they have a shooting attack as well. And I'm a big fan of doing something in every phase.
Yeah, the puke is it's really good actually for what it does sometimes, and it frees you up from a combat to allow another charge.
Yeah.
Dual profile models like that, so something that can shoot and fight, can actually do some pretty incredible work.
Yeah.
You just have to see it as a utility piece in some cases,
yeah,
and not the overall damage. And there you go to Combat Phase Podcast. There is a bit of Disco Grot. Just having he's in cover, volcanic cover. Can we just talk about the fact
that Pete not given.
He does not care, and he's just pushed those.
Give me a replacement word. I'm about to use another swear word.
He doesn't. He cares not a jot. He
cares not from whence the volcanic lava flows.
Only that he sat atop it
yes.
near the party cave. We should put a light inside the Loontrine.
Yeah.
From the Dankhold.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Dankhold particularly has lots of parties.
Well, would you go to a dank-hold party?
A cave party?
Because
they would be dank parties.
Ain't no party like a dank-hold party.
Yeah, I'm not 100% certain I'd go. Oh, it's just dank memes. It's just making dank memes on a computer. That's a dank whole party. There we go. Right, so we're in combat now. We're in the combat phase of Pete's turn 2. Battle round 2, top of it, and it's turn 2. Yeah.
So do we think Pete has capitalised enough on this turn, or done enough in this turn, to warrant taking the turn?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the destruction of a Screaming Bell is really big.
Yeah,
really,
it is quite big. If he gets through the Screaming Bell, and then all of a sudden the rats just fall apart, and he doesn't have a lot of command points coming in, so he's not going to be getting inspiring presence across the board. But it is a pity that Screaming Bell still was in range to give him the...
Yes, but again, great play from Clemens.
Yep.
Absolutely solid.
Was it coincidence or was it calculated?
Was it calculated?
I feel
German
like
efficiency in the house, I think, one more time.
Yeah. Like, this is the BMW of Skaven players.
Yeah, four-sprung duck technique is what he is currently operating under. He's just doing really, really well there. Because there's that efficiency of redundancy that he's put into effect there.
That's actually a perfect way of putting it. He's like, if this dies, I have this one to back it up.
Yeah, and then he's done that twice. So had this one be the one that's targeted, that one would have taken up the slack. Yeah. And it is super unlikely that both were ever going to die in a turn. So yeah, just really smart play. Yeah. I potentially would have put maybe like one forward that way, one forward that way, and but then I would have been in a tough spot in this situation. But Clemens has clearly shown, as so the Plague Monks with the fetid in the centre there have killed 5 grots. So really not doing the work that we've seen that the
well, they're on 6s to hit.
Yes, they are on 6s to hit.
So that was kind of expected, but that's actually quite a lot compared to what I would expect if they're hitting on 6s, like so.
Yeah, really, really positive. So it looks like the Gitz are in a positive spot, but it does look like, well, and they're obviously got the next turn coming up.
The problem is Pete's still only getting 2 points from this round, and Clemens is on the board to get 4 again next round. So we're looking at an 8-6 at the end of turn 2, unless something big happens.
Yes, but
But he's in a good... Pete's still got the spider there. He's in a good position. He's got Itchy Nuisance and Hand of Gork, so...
And Clem can't, apart from summoning a Vermin Lord, and neither player, again, we haven't seen a lot of summoning at all this weekend at this event. Well, not in the armies that we've seen play. Yeah, good, agreed. But we haven't seen... like, both these armies are just going to attrition it out. Unless that Vermin Lord comes out of that Screaming Bell, summoned from the Aether. I think that's going to be very interesting to see. But we may not. We may not.
That happened to me against Darren Watson at Six Nations. He summons a Vermin Lord. It's not pleasant. You hate to see it.
You do hate to see it.
It's a bit much. It's a bit much.
No one's happy about it. No one's happy about it, apart from the Vermin Lord who's over the moon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Darren Watson.
Yeah, of course. Grots versus Skaven is so awesome, lol. It is a really fun game because you kind of root for both of them, the little furry and.
Do you know what? It's Warhammer personified, in my opinion.
I'd say it's some of the better Warhammer you can play, right?
Yeah, because it's loads of rats. It's all the cool. There's lots of cool stuff on the board, like spiders, grots, rats, trogs, rots with long rifles. They've hit every aspect of the game in these 2 armies. Every aspect.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, you're right.
So, which is really cool.
Yeah. Again, Seraphon, when they're on the tabletop, that's another great army to get in that mix. They're kind of like the beasts of the mortal realms, really mixing it up. And again, that's why I'm very excited to see that the Free Cities are going to be an exciting book release because we're going to see models on the board that we haven't seen in competitive play for such a long time. Demigryphs, we haven't seen them. Steam tanks, we haven't seen those. I've always been a huge fan of both the Luminarch and the Hurricanum. Again, as you're still going to see a lot of Phoenixes, which you've seen plenty of times before, but it's just going to really shake up the kind of viable usage, which is what the Gloomspite book did as well.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of awesome new models, like on a Ragnarok, on a Web Spinner Shaman on a Ragnarok. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Those brand new Rock Troglodytes. We've had a pretty excellent year, really, when it comes to gaming.
Do you know what? The past 3 years in Age of Sigmar, it's been a bit of an up and down, but they have done nothing but release, and bring us a lot of content.
Yeah.
A lot of things to go with. So it has been a good, but this year has been great.
It's been great,
just,
and it's not even over.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly. We've still got potentially 2 more books to come out.
Ooh, baby, I love you, way. Well, there's more tribes, and then there's the Oceanic Bone Rippers.
But we have no confirmation of when they're coming out. That's the problem.
October.
We have confirmation.
They said at least for the oligarchy bottom ticklers that they are coming out in October. They said that at the seminar. So.
Do you mean Tomb Kings revised?
Tomb Kings 2.0. Yeah.
But do you know, it's a lot of people were saying like. There was 2 groups of people after this happened, or 3 groups, should I say. One group was saying, oh, finally, death to the Tomb Kings. Other people were saying, this gives hope for Tomb Kings. And then the last one were like, this is just Tomb Kings evolved. This is their way of saying, this is what our Tomb Kings are now. Like, forget about Tomb Kings, guys. We have Oceanic Bone Reapers. This is what they are. Because that's what they were. They were skeletal constructs.
They were.
So they've kind of changed the colours a bit. But the problem is that Egyptian skeletons aren't theirs.
No.
Whereas Oceanic Bone Reapers are, and they've gone for that kind of Necron ancient look, and I think that's a good direction.
I really like the scarab motif that they've put on a lot of the models as well. I've always been a big fan of that ever since the Brendan Fraser movies, The Mummy.
I only watched them recently, the trilogy.
Just a great set of films. And as you can see, we've rifled enough through the combat phase there. Yeah, that was well done. Really proud of you. Yeah, really getting into the swing of it. Just find out whatever's floating in your head as you go through the combat phase, and we'll stick to it. So some hot goss from the rest of the tournament. There's a man that goes, a myth at this stage, who goes by the name of Chris Caves Jr.
Yes, Cavesy.
Cavesy, as some people know
He's
him.
the Banksy of Warhammer.
Yeah, all right, deal.
Yeah.
And he's just gone, as the young 16-year-old protege that he is, he's just gone and won his last game 30-0.
He has gone max points against another Skaven tied list.
So
he is actually on 4 wins and a minor loss.
Wow.
Now that is actually enough to come first, depending on how this game goes.
Yes, because there are secondaries. So effectively, you get 8. It's an 8-point swing.
Yes.
For your secondaries that you have in the game. So one of these 2 players has to nail a 30-0. You have to achieve the victory and the secondary objectives.
Because I believe Chris is I think roughly he's either I think he's 5th in the rankings at the moment. So that is a big push up to the top.
Well, 5th in the Irish rankings.
No, in the
in the Irish GT HeroPhase 2019 rankings.
Standings. There we go. So
there is an Irish rankings, right?
Pardon?
There is an
Irish rankings. I actually run them myself. So.
Oh, nice! Congratulations.
So it's really handy.
Yeah, I thought it was 13. Yeah, Twitch chat, you let us down. I thought you were going to help us out there. Yeah, so 13
I think
inches.
everyone just believed that Skaven is absolute bull.
Yeah. All the plague monks are gone away.
Okay.
They're going away. So they are not immune to battle shock.
I would just like to say that Peter Pratt is visibly happy to see plague monks leave the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He actually flicked one.
Yeah.
They just flicked it off the table. Get it out.
Feck off, plague monk.
Yeah.
Feck is okay in England, isn't it?
Yeah, let's go for it. FEC.
Okay. Yeah, FEC.
Yeah. The flesh eater courts, of course. There's no issue there at all. Thanks so much for trying. We're all trying. It's just so kids could watch it with their dads at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like someone's like, "Oh, do you mind staying home with the kids?" It's like, no problem. I'm gonna watch Warhammer all day.
Yeah. That's the dream.
Yeah.
And there are some father-son combos here. 3, actually that.
What, 3?
We've got father-son combos up here.
3 father-son
So
combos.
we've got Craig Morrow and Solomon Morrow. We have Colin Cochran and Ben Cochran. and we have Chris Caves Jr. and Senior.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that there's like a next generation playing through.
Yeah, and it is nice. It's great to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and they're doing well.
Yeah.
Ben Cochran is was on 3-1 going into this round with
Excellent.
his Trip Magma Droth Fire Slayers.
Wow, and he's much younger than Chris. He's 13. Yeah.
Okay.
So those plague monks are gone, going into Clemen's turn.
So
the moon is up. The moon is up, so he's going to be -1 to cast over there as well.
the moon is here, isn't it?
Yes, sorry, the malevolent moon.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what the malevolent moon does.
Oh, so it's amazing. Absolutely horrific. So if you're within 12 inches, you're -1 to cast. If you're within 6, -2 to cast.
Wow.
Yeah, doesn't affect Gloomspite, obviously. But also, everything it travels over, and I think it travels 12 inches, takes D3 mortal wounds. It's amazing. If you double that up with their allegiance ability of the moon, which is currently here, when it's here, like, you can make your opponent -3 to cast without even scratching an eye.
That sucks for the opponent.
It does. It really does. Like, and if you combo that with the minuses to hit, both in the Netters, the Geminids, Sneaky Distraction, Griffeather Charm, what you really have got is like a control list coming out of the Gloomspite Gitz army that pins the board in. Okay, so the bell effect, so the table, that it rang its bell, and it really didn't summon the Vermin Lord. It was not rung hard enough.
Yeah.
He's got +1 move, and he would have really liked to have seen.
Okay, so it looks like he's going to go for that. He might flee.
So we saw Gravetide dispelled here. So yeah, you're right. It does seem like we're going to see him move on to that objective. To try
I wonder if
score
he's going to try and flee with the Plague Monks because they're close to it. I don't think the Plague Furnace or the Screaming Bell will be enough to take it unless he can get the charge in and kill a lot of those.
Oh, I'm tense. I don't know.
Now the other thing is, look at that gnawhole over there has been left open.
Oh,
so
yes.
I wonder if that's going to be any use
A Bombardier?
to Clement's Bombardier or even the
Bombardier.
Can he send the
Giselles
through
Yeah,
it?
as long as they're wholly within 6. It's a bit tight, but they could definitely be.
It'll just be good to be able to solidify that corner of the board and take that objective as well. So,
So
Clement's playing the objective game hard. Yeah,
we really has to. I think we've also just seen Geminids dispelled, and I think that the reason I don't know if that's the best call, because it just allows Pete to recast it. Oh wow, has it been that long already?
Yeah, just over an hour left.
Oh, okay, just over an hour left.
I think by the looks of it, this is where it'll close out pretty quickly. Like you're losing models at a very alarmingly fast rate. I'd say we'll find out who the winner is in the next turn or so.
I think that will be the result realistically. So let's cut in to find out how Disco Shaman's doing. Oh, massive dice roll there
so
from
no
the tabletop.
No death frenzy.
No death frenzy. So that is really important. Which is why I think we saw Mr. Dan Ford at one of the one of the Warhammer World Heats fairly recently, or actually it was at Bobo, where he took the Warbringer, who's able to add Death Frenzy to D3 units.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It does, absolutely. Stick that on three blocks of Plague Monks, and you've got yourself an army you don't want to hit and you don't want to fight.
Yes, and that's why you need shooting.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hoping Lead Belchers actually get some sort of use in the new book, because then I get to actually shoot the rats and they don't get to fight.
Yeah, it'd be good if they really do understand that you should have a unit for shooting clearing hordes.
Yeah. No, not hordes, just specifically clan rats.
No, Plague Monks, you mean?
Plague Monks. Okay, yeah.
So Clemens has got his command point back that he spent to make the unit in the center run, flee out of combat and go and run an auto 6, and then he's rolled it and he's gone onto that objective. And don't forget, Clemens is set up for the priority roll as well. If he does get it, he'll be able to clear that objective of units.
Yeah.
I just really think that early committal with the Plague Monks didn't really gain him very much.
Well, it's got him here. If you think about it, if this was his plan all along was to get into that objective, he's now getting 3, 4, 5, 6 points this turn. It's going to be 10-6 at the end of turn 2. He's really taking control of the objectives. I'm not sure how Pete's going to be able to get around the board and take those objectives back, because he's positioned those clan rats so that he can't Hand of Gork his way over just anywhere he wants. So it's going to be tough for him.
It is going to be tough. It is going to take some time, I think, to... there he is, making sure he gets them within, I think, close to 13 for the immune to Battle Shark. But all of that raw damage output coming from those endless spells. Not allowing... not taking some of those units off the board does mean that Pete is going to be able to put those units back on the board.
Yeah.
And that is going to affect the mission being played currently is focal points. Focal points, as you can see from the board.
It's a very tough mission. I think for anyone playing it, it's a tough mission. It's a very tactical mission because that middle objective is quite scary. It's more about like almost who blinks first. You run for the middle objective, you get countercharged, and then you lose to the double, and then you have to be so careful. I've been playing it quite a bit and looking at rather than going for the middle objective, try and go straight for one of their objectives that they left slightly unprotected. But it really just depends on setup and your matchup and everything, so.
It does. It really does. It also, I imagine, this mystical terrain played quite a large impact in some save. Those Plague Monks were getting to roll. The Grots were getting to roll against the Plague Monks. And the same is going to be true over here now.
Yeah.
For those.
But it's only 1 inch and it's per model in range, so.
But it still could make some difference,
and then we still have nullification here.
Yes, that's nullification, not healing. Sorry about that, everyone. And so that's gonna change the shape of the game. But running away means no combats, which means a fairly fast turn, and then that means I think we're going to get into shooting. Why can't I remember the name of the
Jezzails?
Thank you so much. The Jezzails. All I could think of was Pervase, which is what they have at the front. The Jezzails over at the top are looking... they're moving forward.
Yeah.
Again, trying to shoot off that unit. So he definitely... Clemens has decided that he's going to try and secure that left-hand flank before he does anything. Those Rock Guts, though, not far away. So these Rock Guts here... really not far away from being able to start contesting that bottom objective. We're only in turn 2. Going on to turn 5, I really don't think Clemens keeps enough on the board to win.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Pete gets Grots back. Pete can get Grots back, which is a big difference.
Giselle's killed, again underperforming, only killing 2 of the Grots at the top.
I'm not too sure why he didn't just move Gnawhole to there.
Yeah, maybe they weren't wholly within 6. But I also don't know why.
Yeah.
I suppose he has to... they were outside of 6, so that's why.
Okay. Thank you, Table Boss.
Thank you, Table Boss. I don't know why we generally... why he hasn't just moved a little bit more aggressively forward in some of the ways, but that was a terrible sentence. Let me start again. Apologise.
Remember my random word button that I said?
Yeah. Twitch chat, can you help me out? You just help me out, please. I'm just going to cut over to Disco Grot while we decide what tactical insight we want to give.
He's having a party in a volcano.
He is.
Cool.
Okay, so we're in the combat phase now, and the bell.
Okay, if you can see there, the bell's actually charged into the Grots that the Plague Monks were fighting.
Yes.
So the bell has gone deep.
All the way in.
And that's obviously to make sure, to give that extra redundancy, to make sure he's within 13 inches as well. The bell is just very tough. It's a very tough piece of... it's a very tough unit to get rid of.
Yeah, it really is.
And I know from personally from fighting 3 of them against Aaron. they are tough. They're very tough. So
12 wounds with a 4-up save and a 5-up ignore is absolutely.
Yeah.
The 5-up ignore gives them an extra 4 wounds. So that gives them 16 wounds base, really.
Yeah.
But then if you can roll okay on the saves, you're in a really good spot. And there isn't a lot of rend on that board when it comes from the Gitz.
No, only the Rock Guts. The Rock Guts think I've -2 rend or something like that.
Yeah, that's the only place. And they're positioned quite out of the way at the minute. But as we stated at the start of the game, both flanks quite controlled by the 2 players.
And can we actually just have a little acknowledgement here? I think there looks like a nice little gap here for these guys to be Hand of Gorked into.
Oh, I don't know if I would do that though, because that's relying on the 9-inch charge. It would depend on how far that charge distance would be.
Yeah, true.
But if it was the same,
but it's more a case of now he's going to be threatening these guys.
Yes, the Giselles. Killing the Giselles is going to be a real big issue.
And there's nothing really on that side of the board to take that objective back. So,
yeah, interesting. Okay, all right.
And then we got the Spider as well, which has I think the Spider has a 14-inch move.
The Ragnarok?
Yeah.
No, 8.
What?
8 inches.
8-inch move for the Spider?
Yeah, 8 inches. It's heartbreaking.
That's outrageous.
Outrageously bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's why it's used more as a like a shooting platform than it is anything else. Because if it can stay, what's happened?
Then maybe he Hand of Gorks.
The Ragnarok.
And then Scuttletide or Arachnarok Dragon.
Arachno Cauldron.
Arachno Cauldron, and then charge into here.
Oh my god. Oh, Clem's got 6 points. Again, his priority roll. It's red versus blue. Clem is blue. He's rolled a 4. Oh, he's won the priority roll. He has won the priority roll. He's got to be happy about that.
So Pete gets to move the first endless spells.
Yes.
So does the moon move first? Does the moon not move before endless spells, or does that move in the?
It's all the same.
It's the same, is it?
Same. Oh no, it's at the beginning of his turn. So Quicksilver swords are going into the Plague Monks there.
Oh, Plague Monks.
Yes. I think he said Plague Monks. Just double check that. Boss. Yeah.
6 dead Plague Monks.
So we're going to see a load of endless spells move around now. The moon has got to move, as does the pendulum. So the moon actually moving, I think, is actually going to be really impactful.
Yeah, I would be definitely putting the moon into the malevolent moon towards the Screaming Bell to stop him from casting.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So there we go. He's sending the moon that way to the Troggoths,
getting him out of the way. That does mean Scuttletide will be able to move.
Yep.
And get towards those Giselles at the bottom again. There we go. Oh no, Scuttletide's gone. He must have moved it off the board.
It's still
can't have gone that far.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still there.
Went quite far. Scuttletide's just come off the board. There we go. One mortal wound done to the Troggoths. From the moon. The pendulum moved a tiny bit forward. Okay. Very tense. Very tense. So don't forget, this is looking for the win. That's the idea. Those Plague Monks have captured that top left-hand objective, and they're going to be able to score that as well. Clemens might genuinely get away on a points lead that might be hard to catch up with.
Well, he's got 6 points again this turn.
It's whether or not he can go and get himself the Yahtzee.
I think if he sits on 6, he's comfortable. You know what I mean? But I think he's going to be on 16 at the end of this at least. I don't think I'd bother trying to go for the 2 points and split myself up even more and get closer to those Troggoths as well.
Yeah, we're seeing we just saw the dice rolls there for the bell also rolled again, and a d6 for every model on a 4+. Every unit on a 4+. It takes 1 mortal wound. is what we're seeing. Didn't do much. Little bit of damage here and there, but little bit of chip. Could particularly be scary if there were like 3 Screaming Bells, for example.
Yeah.
Just with the potential output that can happen. But it's so random.
Yeah, it is very random.
You can't rely on it.
It's a nice extra, but you wouldn't base a plan around it.
No, but we have seen 4 Screaming Bell lists go out before.
Yeah,
people
true.
have played them and tried to use them quite well. So, and they're just such a steal. 200 points.
Are they only 200 points? That is outrageous.
2 casts, 12 wounds, 4 up save, 5 up ignore.
That is disgusting. For 200 points. Are you messing?
No.
Oh my god. I thought they're the same as like the Cauldrons at 300.
No.
Like at least Cauldrons are 300 points. They're pointed correctly.
Yeah, they are.
But Screaming Bells are not.
No, they are not pointed correctly at all.
I wonder if they're saying, oh, they're 200 points because
they're
rats.
220.
If there's no
Thank
rats.
you,
near,
Reflex Dog Training, 220.
If there's no rats nearby, they can't move. So maybe that's their.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there were 2 cast wizards at the end of the day, and that's worth, before you do anything else, before you get into anything else, that's worth at least 140 points.
Did we find out where the moon went to?
Yeah, it didn't move. So we have seen the moon that is the Gloomspite Gitz ability is over there. The malevolent moon is right there. Is what we're seeing.
Why do they have so many things called the moon?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
why didn't they just call it the Moon Shrine?
The Moon Grots. Yeah. Moon Trogoths. Yeah. Is this the last game of the tourney? It's the last game Mr. Oscar Lyles paints. It is the last game. So
that man is a wizard of a painter.
He is such a good painter. Also a very nice man.
I haven't met him. I don't think I've met him. I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Well, if you ever get the opportunity to, please do. He's also. I told you, late game.
Yeah. Well, it is a late game item now, because it's such a short range that you need to put it down in a proper place. Like, you can't just throw it anywhere just for the sake of getting it down.
And the bane of everyone apart from me, obviously.
But look where he's putting it, though. He's putting it in a very clever position.
So we are in the hero phase. The overlay says combat phase, but we are in the hero phase right now, and we are seeing the Warp Lightning Vortex go down, and it is surrounding all of the shamans. So there we go. Scragrot over there is going to get the hit, as is the Fungoid Cave Shaman is going to take it. The Ragnarok over there potentially is going to take some damage as well. The Trogos, just everything. It's just such a ludicrous range of what it can hit.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. They should, the whole thing should be each wholly within each other, and also they should all have to be wholly within 13 inches, because it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just crazy, the range. So he's going to just roll dice now. And some lucky 6s. We're just going to see some characters just sniped out.
Yeah, because 6 is D6 mortals, isn't it?
D6 mortal wounds. Now, all of the characters also have ignores, so it's very, very unlikely.
That's true. The Fungoid and Scragrot both have a 4+ ignore.
Yeah, so they should be safe.
Which makes those shamans very good.
They're so good.
In fact, the Fungoid Cave Shamans are actually one of the best shamans because they're destruction universal allies. They can go in any destruction army.
Yeah, they can.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, and they're really good. Do I know what happens to a disco shaman
there's a 6.
when they're struck by?
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So the Fungoid Cave Shaman took 1 wound there. We're still rolling it out, but I think that's all the damage that we've seen from the Warp Lightning Vortex. Not forgetting, it's going to actually tick again.
At the end of the movement
At
phase?
the end of the next movement phase, which is Clemen's movement phase. So it really is going to do even more damage in an AoE there. Just a horrible spell. Just so efficient. It's 100 points.
That is,
so it's at the top tier. There's only another spell that occupies that space, and that is the Comet for the Stormcast Eternals, which we will be seeing make a huge comeback in the Free Cities lists. You're going to take a Stormcast Wizard, you're going to cast Comet, you're going to cast your Empowered Geminids, and your Empowered Shackles, and your Empowered Spells. And then everyone's going to have a bad time.
Like, the casting spells part of a Halloheart army is going to be like watching Plague Monks roll their combat dice.
Yeah, it is.
Why are you saying that you cast on an 18? That doesn't make any sense. You rolled 2 dice.
Well, you see, you can potentially. Death Frenzy is on
gone off on the Plague Ones. That's
you can actually really fun. You can roll an extra d6 to cast with a command ability. Roll a 6. You can take extra 1 to cast from the battalion, an extra 1 to cast as well from something else, and then a Hurricane. You can then also be a sorceress and Bat Dragon, stab herself and do an extra d3. So you can actually, which is really fun, cast a spell on a 23.
24 if you're with an arcane.
24. Actually, I'll have you know that the I would actually can I dub this the Clemens? This is the German. That's the move. What Clemens has done, and don't forget Clemens is on 4 wins up until this point, is he's used the Plague Furnace, not the Plague Furnace, the Screaming Bells as delivery systems for the Vortex.
Yes.
We're on turn 3 waiting to deploy a 100-point unit, but he's done it until he's in the optimum area to do so. And he's done it. We saw him do exactly the same thing last time he was on the stream yesterday when he played against Scott Trek and the Eels. He just waited until all the characters and units are around, dropped it, and he's like, I'm hitting everything.
He's incredibly patient.
Yeah, super.
And it works well for him.
Yeah, really, really well.
But he's in a very strong position now, and I think Pete will struggle to close that 10-point gap at the end of this turn.
Yeah, it's really good, and that's right, Studio Westwood. I think it's really clever. It's nice seeing it as well. Nice seeing that kind of like patience. And again, we saw this done so well by Luke Morton at the Facehammer GT in the final. His economy of usage. So he wasn't electrocuting stuff with his eels, and he was not spending CP, and he was waiting in case it became more relevant later.
Yep.
Instead of tacking on extra damage or getting a couple of rerolls of 1 here and there, he was just waiting until it was the most effective use of the points. Again, we're seeing the Jezzails move. These Jezzails.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he needs them to be doing big damage now. I think he wants to do the position that when those Troggots come out to say hello, that they get Jezzailed.
What, say that again, sorry.
I think he's putting these guys here so that if these guys come out, he's got a target. So he's going to shoot. I think that looks like his plan, because this isn't an issue. That's not an issue at the moment. So the only real issue are these 2 guys here.
Yes. Yeah, and Pete hasn't actually yet brought them to the 4, has he? He hasn't actually, like you said, you're right. He's got a Ragnarok, who's a pretty decent combat monster, and he's got the Rockgut Troggoths, and he hasn't really, he had charged them in. He hasn't really deployed them in a way, but he's still got 3 turns left of combat, and I really do think, but movement is going to be his major issue at this stage. He has to clear the Plague Monks. He also has to go over here and get this bottom objective,
which I think should be priority for him.
Which is really important, and he also has to come over here to try and get that. If he does go into this bottom hand corner, he is also claiming that center objective in the way.
Yeah.
But there's clan rats in the way. There's Plague Monks at that top objective. It's actually Clemens has actually played a really interesting kind of deny game where he's just he's gone long there, feigned, and then just kind of controlled this side of the board, which is enough to win.
Yeah, definitely. But if I was Pete now, I'd be trying to do the opposite, and I'd be going exactly what you just said there, and go down the bottom corner here, get those 2 extra points, try to get back the middle, so at least you got 5 points for this turn. That closes the gap a bit, and then he's only 5 points behind. But he is struggling because after he had a big turn there, getting 6 points against Pete's only 2.
Yes.
So
yeah, Pete wasn't able to recapture that center point. But Pete also potentially can bring back one of those destroyed units of Grots. None of them have actually died yet, the Grot units.
I think there's 2 Grots here, is that right?
Yeah.
And there's about 10 here.
Which is quite frustrating because it means he can't try to generate a smaller unit back out of the Loon Shrine.
Yeah,
so from the dank hold, someone shout down into the cave, "Oi boys, get up here!" So none of that.
I think
Yeah, so you're right, OJ. Also, hope you're doing well, brother. Saying that it's lucky. The double turn really put him in a commanding spot here. But like we said, there's still 3 turns left for Peter. Potentially he can get the double back. So there's a lot of movement on the board that we're not seeing.
Yes. I think if I was Pete now, I'd put these guys in front of this, so that they die to the next pendulum activation.
Oh, clever!
So we can bring them back.
You can tell you're a pink horror player. Yeah, you mercilessly. Thank you so much, Table Boss. Mercilessly sacrifice your own men in a heartbeat.
Yes. So the other option is that this thing zaps those last 2 guys. If he's lucky, they'll zap and he'll be able to bring them on his next turn. And what is it? I think it's within 12 inches of the Cologne Shrine. So we could technically bring them on probably around this point here and be able to contest this objective. So let's see what happens anyway.
It's interesting.
So much going on with all these new mechanics and with the all the new interactions between, as I said, they have endless spells, they both have terrain, they both have movement, shooting, magic. They just have so much going on,
Yeah. So there's a lot of versatile options, which is really interesting because Pete's are ensconced in really it comes a lot more heavily in the magic, whereas Clemens is a lot more in those kind of 3 bully units that he's got in the Plague Monks and the Jezzails. But one of the units is dead now. But the Screaming Bell really putting in the work for 220 points. Not bad at all. If you compare him, he's the same price as Scragrot.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah. Now, do we think the Screaming Bell is equal to Scragrot? Do we think?
I think it's underpointed.
Yeah. Well, definitely.
Yeah. So again, and Clemens making the smart, efficient choice. He's also got the charge off now in that top left-hand corner. He's been shooting at that unit for a while.
Yeah.
And so he's finally got the charge off, and we're going to see those units of Grots dead.
Yeah.
To a single Grot, I think. So they
you want to be quite unlucky not to kill all those Grots now. But again, then that gives Pete an opportunity to bring another unit back.
It does, and I think that's the right decision. And Pete, and Pete's just taking him off the board. He's just like, no, it's cool. I believe in you.
Pete is playing for the long game, so it is actually in his interest to make sure he gets
I think
at least 2 more turns.
If the game goes to 5 turns, it's Pete's game realistically, and the game should go to 5 turns. All games should.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. 80 points cheaper than a Tree Lord Ancient. Come on, OJ, my Silverdeath brother. I'm so sorry. Silverdeath Ancient can cast a whole spell though.
Yeah.
A whole one.
A whole one spell. I thought a whole spell was like a special type of Sylvanet spell that was better, and I thought you were being genuine. But no, you just mean one spell, don't you?
One whole spell, yeah. It's quite sad.
Yes, it is. Sad. There is some serious pointing issues, and but let's hope they get fixed just through the goodness of time.
Yeah. And if they don't, they've never once got points right ever. So let's stick with it. Who cares? And let's just have a great game because Warhammer's really fun.
It is.
Okay. So because we're in the combat phase, the Grots here trying to do a bit of chip damage into a Screaming Bell, and see if they can just do a couple of little damage, because that's going to decide whether or not they're actually able to take them out.
Yeah, well, that's it. You have every little bit helps. You know yourself.
Yeah, it's really, really important. So I would roll that out. I don't care about my Grots living at the top.
Yeah, but you certainly roll.
I want to do that extra 1 damage into that Screaming Bell in the center.
You saw yourself. He had 1 wound left with the Screaming Bell. And that was if that was the case here, and if that was the difference between the Plague Monks having immune to battle shock and not, you'd be kicking yourself if you know.
We've had a question in the chat about 3-hour rounds from Dan Elkington. You decided to make the games here 3-hour rounds. Is there the reason for that was?
I like playing Warhammer for longer. I don't like being rushed, and I wanted to give that to my attendees here. So I often, no matter what army I play, I always have at least 1 or 2 games where I'm running from one table to the other and packing my stuff up very untidily.
Yeah.
And it puts in a bit of a fluster, and I don't like it. So I thought the 3-hour rounds with the little 15-20 minute gap in between rounds really makes a difference. And at the end of the day, you don't want to be stressed over packing your army up and packing all your stuff up. And
No.
you do have a lot of things to consider. Like, you've got all your accessories, you've got all your army tokens, dice, everything. You know what I mean? So it's a lot to do as well, and that's.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I actually also think that the thing that I don't want to do at the start is ever rush explain to my opponent what my army does.
Yeah.
I want the fullness of them to be able to understand, because if I'm going to beat my opponent, and if I am going to beat them, I'm going to try my hardest to do so. I want them to do it knowing what I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of Clem's turn now. So he's had 3 turns. He's up. He's 10 points ahead. Pete's going into his 3rd turn. As you can see there, big scoring rounds in 2 and 3 for Clemens. And it's all about what Peter's going to do now in this hero phase.
He needs a big turn 5, turn 3 here.
So he's going to start. He's going to move the moon. He's going to not going to move the moon, but he's going to start casting spells now.
Yeah.
And put them on the board, which is thankfully they're physical spells that we can see. And there's Geminids to go out. There's Suffocating Gravetide to go out. There's Scuttletide to go out again. There's loads.
He's
of
actually
options.
got quite a lot of options with his endless spells.
He
thanks
does.
to them being either dispelled or being pushed off the board. He really needs to focus on being able to get his big punchers, his big spider and his Troggoths over near some objectives, because if he can't get those objectives back this turn, or make some headway in getting them over there, then I don't know how he's going to pull it back.
Yeah, well, there are only 2 Troggoths left on the board,
Which is a sad time. 4 of them did die, most of it to spell damage because of that Warp Lightning Vortex, which again did the work. I imagine Pete is going to try and unbind or dispel the Warp Lightning Vortex. I don't know if I would unbind it, because it is cast on a very high casting value, and it might be a waste of a resource. If he wastes that opportunity to cast instead, then he's kind of like he's letting the steam out of his hero phase. So I don't know if I would dispel that. I think I'd just move away as much as possible and kind of taking a bit of a beating.
So he's tried to dispel the Racist Swords and has failed to do so.
Yeah,
but he did dispel the pendulum as you just mentioned.
So the pendulum's gone, but I think just move away from Warp Lightning Vortex, because that'll just give him a chance to cast it again.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think I'd leave it. I think I'd ignore it. Just move away from. If you're within range of one of them, there's a chance of taking some mortal wounds. But he does have that 4-up save, and he's not in a great position to take that objective anyway. So I'd just move away from it instead.
Yes, I think that's the right decision. Like El Diablo saying in the chat, there's 36 minutes left, so the potential to get in the rest of the turns is going to be pretty dicey. It's important to try and get them sorted. But we will see. Yeah, there you go, 35 minutes. So players just asking on the time as well and being conscious of that. That plague monk rolling took a good 10 minutes out of our time.
Yeah, well, luckily they made a good call there to just pull out Night Goblins or Moonclan Grots when they were fighting, because he knew he'd die.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
we've seen Scuttletide cast it again. Where are we going to have it placed? That is going to be the real big question. I'm not 100% certain.
I'd be interested to see how Pete feels about playing this army, because it does seem to be a common thing that Gloomspite armies and Skaven armies, but just they do struggle to finish games. There's a lot going on. They have a lot of models. They have a lot of magic, and I speak from experience as well with the change host. So I just had to speed things up in the early days when I was just playing practice games. So it'd be interesting to see how he feels about playing this army, because I think this is his first outing with them.
Oh yes, it is his first outing. See if he thinks it's slow. Pete, but not by the way shy or precious about his armies, and would always speak for what he thinks is best for the game.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think it's a smart play down the way by the bottom, trying to do some. I think he's killed 3, maybe 4 plague monks, not plague monks, clan rats at the bottom, 2. And that's not going to. Thank you. And that's not going to be anywhere near enough. I think Pete looking for that battle shock to move those units off the bottom objective, which is a smart move. He also is going to have to roll a bunch. I think he's going to try and. It's whether or not he goes to whittle down the plague monks, or he tries to whittle down the Screaming Bell. It makes the most sense to go for the plague monks at this stage.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, here we go. We have the pendulum going out now. I wonder who he's going to go with. And you're right. I think the plague monks make the most sense because if he's able to take out the plague monks, that's the majority of his damage output.
Yes.
So, that Screaming Bell, all he has to do is run away from it and it can't move.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's one model to score, and at this point it has to be about models to score because there's actually still a lot left for Clemens. There's this unit of clan rats in the centre that can do the work. And then there's also a bombardier down here, so he's going to help those units. So Pete's got a lot of work to get done in a very short space of time. So they're just discussing what's going to happen with the pendulum and where that's going to go.
Hopefully the awkward placement just encourages Pete to do the right thing and put them near the plague monks instead.
Yeah, I think putting them near the plague monks. Okay. The pendulum is sitting on the top of the building, just here, and like Damocles' dagger is swung right before the Screaming Bell, which means even on the priority roll, it's going to go through again. So it's going to take 2d6 mortal wounds. At some point.
Well, the fact, because it's basically the way he set it up is the smart way.
So he's taken 3 straight away.
It's only 3. So you always want for that 6 to go.
Yeah,
in,
you always want
that 6.
But he's also got the 5 up ignored. Don't
That's
forget.
true. Yeah. Disaster. In case you didn't see, guys, my eyes rolled.
You're not a fan of the Skaven?
No, not a fan of the. No, do you know what? I don't mind the Skaven. It's all those. It's the Screaming Bell. It's the Vermin Lords, and it's the Warplaner Vortex that just make it a very interesting experience.
I think you're being really kind there.
Yeah.
I think interesting is. I think it's terrible. It's a tough old match sometimes.
Do we have a bleeper here that can bleep out my speech when I'm talking about Skaven?
Well, as you know, I for one have enjoyed them for the next 21 days of my life.
Yeah.
So Geminids have also been cast again.
I think.
And they're going to go into those plague monks, which is going to be the right choice.
So I think their best opportunity is going to be. I think they'll get one more turn in after this, and I think his best opportunity is going to be a draw.
So he's gone for the double there. So D3 on the plague monks, and then looking for D3 on the Screaming Bell, looking to achieve. So you set them up wholly with an 18. So you would have set them up just here, move them 8 around there, and that would have done. So 1 wound to the Screaming Bell, though. So it's still going to take D6. And then the Plague Monks have taken D3 mortals as well.
See, if he had to put all that on the Plague Monks, including the axe or the pendulum, that would have been probably about 7 or 8 dead Plague Monks. And they're not within. I don't know if they're within 13. Actually, knowing Clemens, they're definitely within 13.
Yeah.
There's no way he let that happen.
Ever.
Yeah, so I think I would have been killing the Plague Monks now, just looking at it, because he knows how difficult it is to kill a Screaming Bell. It'll take a lot of effort to do it, and I just don't think it's worth it.
No, I agree with you absolutely. And then hi Irish Monitor, how's Pete going this game? I think if the game went to turn 5, I think Pete would win the game, maybe. But Clemens is really up on points, 10 up. If Clemens gets the priority roll, because I actually don't see. Actually, I'm going to change my mind because I actually don't see how Pete can clear this objective, which he needs to do this turn. Because if the priority roll is won by Clemens next, he just scores all those points again. He has to in a turn. We haven't yet seen movement. We've only seen magic. He has to get this objective and that objective, just to ensure that if the priority roll doesn't go his way, then he doesn't lose out on the double point scoring.
Yeah.
Then when he does that, he's then got to try and hit into these, and at the same time somehow get over there. Yeah. I think he was just too defensive with that spider.
Yeah, I think so. Well, unless he's planning on Hand of Gorking him.
Yeah, we still got the Hand of Gork potential. We don't know if the Hand of Gork has attempted to be cast. We'll wait to find out. But it could be that could change the shape of the game. Really,
Yes.
that's where the movement is. Yeah. The big point, the points change is different because of that turn 2 swing going into the turn 3 priority.
What's going on? Oh, these guys are okay. These guys are running to the objective, so it's now the movement phase.
So we're not seeing a Hand of Gork happen.
No Hand of Gork.
We are in the movement phase. It is on, ladies and gentlemen.
So it doesn't look like he even tried to cast the Hand of Gork.
Yeah, he hasn't. Which is a great threat, and he's just making sure there's enough models within 6 to outscore. So yeah, if they're just going to measure where the objective is. We are the LED system is fine for you guys at home, but the Honest Wargame is actually working on a new system that we're going to put in place in the future for you guys to make it look even snazzier and also easier for the players.
Nice.
Yeah. Because I think that'd be the right call. It'd be really easy to see on the map as well.
So I think our table boss is trying to get the information on how many models he's going to have in range of the objective, and it looks like Clemens might be holding on to it, but
yes, within 6. Okay, so this screaming bell here being just within 6 of the objective does mean that Clemens has got one more model than Peter, holding that objective. This is last game of the day, and Hand of Gork is a teleport spell, Irish Minotaur. But how would that objective affect Disco Rat? Disco Rat has actually moved on from his original placing, I think he's not available anymore.
But we have Techno Shaman still.
We have Techno Shaman, but Disco Rat, I think, has vanished. He's now become. Oh, he's not even there. There's the Disco Light, and the Bombardier is now a Disco Bombardier. He's ready to rock. Yeah, looking to fire his Doom Rocket. That is a great model.
Yes, it is. Beautiful model.
It's a great model. So let me tell you, the moon on the stick is shooting that unit. Let me tell you, that's definitely, that's the moon on the stick here from Scragrot is going to shoot there and get him the objective.
Oh,
that's going to happen. That's a 2-point swing back.
That is pretty big, actually, yeah.
It's really important that this goes this way. Again, why hasn't the spider moved? Why has the Arachnarok not moved?
Is it possible? Oh.
Killed 3. Wow, just enough. That moon on the stick, by the way,
Clutch.
responsible for the final wound that went on the Screaming Bell before. It's just an amazing 26-inch range, indubitably. Might even be 28. Just mad.
It is I am curious as to why he hasn't moved this guy, because he did move these guys. So I don't think he forgot about it.
If he's intentional.
Yeah.
Oh, this is why. This unit being teleported through there and stopping him. He's using.
Sense.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, everyone, having danced his last dance, Techno Shaman has died to the
dead.
Warp Lightning Vortex.
And
he is slew.
And that is why we do not like Warp Lightning Vortexes.
Because they killed dubstep shamans.
Yeah, basically the fun guy Techno Shaman just OD'd and had a fit and died.
He did. So that unit of Grots at the back of the board, looking for a charge. I know, no. He will party though in Fungoid Heaven. So don't worry. Death to the Grot Dancer. Come on, Peter, get the priority. I really hate that Skaven endless spell. Everyone, even Skaven players, hate that endless spell because they don't want to take it. So.
Yeah, like I'm very conscious of how I use the word hate, but I do hate the Warp Lightning Vortex.
So at the end of the turn, Peter scored a total of 3 points. So he scored the one in the center, and then he's also been able to generate 20 grots back from a unit that was slain earlier.
Nice.
So he's putting them back on the board now as quickly as he can. So the points come down to 5 between them. However, no matter what happens, unless I'm missing it, I think Clem scores this bottom and this one for an extra 2 points, taking him to 18
That's
points.
only if he gets priority.
No, I just mean even if he gets priority, even if he doesn't.
Well, we'll see. We have.
Oh, you reckon the Rockets are going to do the work?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Well, the thing is, it's a long shot, isn't it? But that's what Pete has to go for. And the Rock Guts are a potential 12 damage. Does he have an extra? Does it 15 damage? Is an extra attack for the champion?
No, there's no champion.
So
there's no Rock Gut champion, sadly.
So if he does well with the Rock Guts and maybe clears them with Battle Shock, you've also got the chance of him actually using the Hand of Gork on the spider. You know,
but that priority is this priority, by the way, at this point is going to be so important. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's blue for Skaven and it's red for the Gitz. It's really important. Oh, the Gitz
a big 5! Oh, he's got it!
Whoa, Clemens is going to be upset about that. Yeah. Oh, he's got the turn.
So Pete
is going to take it, but obviously don't forget the spells, the ender spells you got to move. Mick, you seem excited.
Well, no, that was a big swing, like.
20.
We finished this.
So there's 25 minutes left in the round, and I think that they definitely can finish this turn.
Yeah, they can finish this turn. They both look keen to press on.
Yeah.
And 25 minutes is plenty of time to finish turn 4 anyway.
Yeah, well, they got the last turn done in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. As you know yourself, as the game goes on, the turns, they get shorter.
Yeah, and there is less to happen. There's a lot of endless spells to move now, and we might well see the Screaming Bell die. The really big thing is whether or not these... Peter does have to actually start scoring points back, because he's still... It's all about these Rock Guts. Can 2 Rock Guts, the Bash Bros, as I've decided that they're called. 2 brothers. Combined in arms. Yeah, not the smartest lads in the world. Yeah, but ready to rock. One of them accidentally is looking the wrong way. Yeah, he's not, the smartest. He's staring at that moon.
Yeah. He's like, hey, you moon, what are you looking at?
Yeah, and then he's like,
I'll bash you. I'll bash you.
Oi, you need to. I'll be the guy. Oh, look, it's a pretty moon.
Hey, get away from that moon.
Oh no, let's look at it.
I swear to God, get away from that moon. I'll grab you.
That's right. Of course they can, Rob. Trog smash, murder on the dance floor, disco shaman taken out by the Reti Vorto techno. So it's whether or not they get down to these rats to smash them. The Rock Gut Truggers, I think, are movement 6. They are movement 6. Called it.
So that where's your grid line?
Where is my grid line?
Where's your grid?
Where's your grid? The grid. There we go. So.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's gonna be what do you reckon? 18, 7, less than 18 away. So they could be within range.
Yeah,
so
they can do it.
6, yeah. I'm gonna say it's probably about a 9-inch charge.
Oof, that's tense. The grid again, really showing its muster.
Yeah.
That's way more useful than I thought it was going to be.
Next time, 1-inch grid.
Wait. Okay, so the moon, the yellow moon, has now moved over here. At no point is it gone in the center, which Pete wanted.
What I'm interested in, what I don't understand is why Pete didn't use his command ability to put the moon into the center of the board.
He might have rolled ones. You can't. Maybe he just rolled ones and then he only auto-moved it one.
His command ability once per game is he gets to decide how to.
Only to move it forward an extra one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my mistake.
Yeah, unless I'm wrong. So.
Well, luckily we have this magical thing
called the Agency Mart app, which is the best thing invented.
It is actually incredible.
Not quite as good as War Scroll Builder. It's still pretty good.
Pretty good. It's your best in-game aid.
Yeah, absolutely.
But writing lists is pretty rubbish on it.
Yeah. No punches pulled here. Those are the facts.
It's just that is it. It's no. That's exactly it.
So, what's Pete going to do?
Yeah,
We're going to see some endless spells moving around the board, I'm almost certain.
I was correct. You can choose what happens. You can choose to not move it once, or move it twice.
No way.
I'm wondering if he was going for, if it goes into the middle, and then spend a command point to hold it there, not realizing he's not going to have another turn. But I think if I was him, I would have gone straight into the middle and sat there.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. And also, you would have wanted that heal up on those trials. The rerollable save. So just get an update from our table boss about what spells are being cast and what damage is being done.
And you can see what's happened with the Scuttle Tide there. He's after blocking off those trogs.
He is blocking off those trogs to everyone's dismay.
Yeah.
So the spider has moved. That's what we're seeing. So the Scuttle Tide, sorry. So that's going to be doing some more damage. Has that not blocked off his own trogs?
I don't think he's done it, has he?
Oh my God! Who moved the Scuttle Tide? That's what we need to find out.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
What an evil German babe! Yeah. How dare you? How dare you? That is a smart play.
Yes, very.
That is so good. So now these Troggoths are going to have to do this and then charge around.
Or unless it's his hero phase now, you can dispel it.
Yes, you can.
Well, is this 30 inches though?
Ooh.
Or is that him there? I can't tell which one's which.
One more opportunity to use the grid.
Which one's which now? Where is
So the spider.
Oh,
is
the spider,
definitely
of course, yeah.
The spider can unbind, so
Yeah.
we could potentially get rid of it, and it's quite low to cast. So it should
cast on a 5.
Yeah, so it should be able to unbind it, I think, and get it off the board. That'd be useful, and then make that Trog charge easier. I think that's a really smart play. The spider has finally made a decision.
Because he does ignore terrain.
He does ignore terrain when he moves, and both players knowing there's not going to be another turn.
Scuttle Tide is cast on a 7.
Oh, an 8 to unbind. Well, obviously, if he's already moved, yeah.
So that's why he hasn't.
It means we also seen the Screaming Bell is not dead either.
Okay.
From the end of spells.
Nope. The Loon King is the Loon King after teleporting? Okay. Oh, this is the Cauldron. The little Cauldron's been. He's Hand of Gorkt to here, and now he's cast Cauldron.
Cool. All right, so we're in the hero phase still.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So he now has, I think, a 5 or 6 inch charge to get in here.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
So
what he's done is he's Hand of Gorkt, as you said, he's cast Scuttle Tide. No.
Arachno Cauldron.
Thank you so much. Which has extended his range to get him in for this, which means he potentially is going to get this charge off. But can he score? Because he also has to get within 6
now,
score.
If he runs with these guys to there, and he clears them with the spider, then yeah, he might be able to do it. Let's do this.
Let's do it, baby.
Do you know what the weird thing was? I'm sitting here going, I'm really excited about the game, and I have no real favorite here now because they're both just really good players, and I'm really enjoying the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Quicksilver Swords is being recast after it was unbound, and I imagine we're going to see it put. Oh wow, that's actually really big at this stage.
Yeah,
because that's going to want to go into the Screaming Bell. Screaming Bell. So. That's really impactful.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
I think Pete's just called it.
Yeah,
Pete's just called the game.
He's called it because he can't kill it. Because he needs to so he needs to battle shock off the Plague Monks in order to get it. They've not getting, and that means with the Screaming Bell alive and that being his last opportunity, the Grots that he has can't actually do enough damage, so he's not able to kill them, which means he won't be able to claim that objective, which means the game goes to Clemens.
Which is strange because I thought he would have been able to go get these 5, okay, and then move this guy this way to keep them from getting too close, hold this objective, 16-16, never mind, Clemens, I forgot that this was a one turn. Clemens just holds one of those objectives and wins.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did need everything.
Yeah, he needed
the
Yahtzee.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, yeah.
Oh, so some strong play there. For that, you guys, and almost made it to time as well. That is that's been a treat. It's been a treat.
Hello,
welcome
Pete
back,
was
everyone.
really fighting for that last turn there, and he knew he was in a bad position.
He really was. And again, even I think even with the if it had gone on to turn 5, I think Pete had not got enough. So that super strong aggro play from Clemens early actually pinned back everything that Pete had, and Pete just couldn't fight his way out.
That's true. Yeah, because we thought it was a mistake in going in with the Plague Moose, but turned out to be probably the winning play.
A Plague Krieg. That's right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So it looks like we need to get an update on the secondaries, obviously.
Yes.
And also with Chris Caves Jr., Cavesy, doing so well in his game. He might have picked the final. So it's going to be interesting to find out who actually wins. We're going to put that up on Twitter, and the Honest Wargame will post it out on our Facebook as well if you guys want to tune in. Pretty great game, though, right?
Yes, amazing. I think Clemens is looking good because he's the only one with 5 majors. So the secondaries are quite heavily weighting. So if Cavesy has got a lot of more secondaries than Clemens, like considerably more, then that's a big difference there. Then it'll be contested. But five majors is hard to look away from, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think Clemens has played a delightful tournament and has done
amazing!
really well.
You saw 2 of his games. Very clean player, very good. You know, just have no complaints.
Thank you so much. And Clemens is actually gifting me with Disco Rat if he won his game, and I feel over the moon about that. I've got my own little Disco Rat.
Do you want to just put him on the ground so I can stand on him for a minute? Goddamn rats.
Well. So I've been Robin, it's been Mick. Mick, it's been a pleasure to be here at the Irish GT. You guys have been lovely. Thanks very much for doing this.
And thank you for coming over. It was actually it was great to have this and get our faces out there and let people know that we actually play Warhammer over here with models and dice and stuff, not just with like potatoes and points.
But not quite as well as the Germans.
Not quite as well as the Germans, no. Can't even win our own tournaments.
But that does mean that the Germans have to come back next year, and it's rooting up to be like a really big international event. We're like 5 minutes from the airport.
Yeah.
From
you
Dublin
can walk
airport.
to the airport.
Yeah, you can walk to the airport. We're in a really nice hotel, so it really is like I'm really chuffed with this, by the way. It's a really great place. So that's one of my favourite things about travelling around is I get to experience them, and it really has been. Everyone's been super lovely. So if you do get the opportunity to come over to Ireland and play with some Warhammer, you really should.
Yeah,
if we wanted to hear more from you guys in the future, how would we do that?
We have a very irregular podcast. We try and get out as much as possible. So we do the HeroPhase podcast, which is on like Podbean, Libsyn, and it's on iTunes as well. So we're trying to get that out as regular as possible. We put up a couple of episodes before the tournament, and we have a Twitter page that we post all of our news on. Dave Chin posts a lot of stuff about like painting, so he's a very, very keen hobbyist.
Well, so actually, that said, the painting competition was happened here this weekend as well. Each one of the entries has been professionally photoed, which I think is a great touch, by the way. I'd like to see more events make sure that happens as well. And then they're all going to go up on the HeroPhase podcast. So the Honest Wargame will retweet it so you guys can see it. But there's some really great entries, so it's absolutely worth checking that out as well. When we get a chance.
That's another we hope to expand the painting competition as well. So there's a really big emphasis on that. It'd be nice to have something else for people to strive for, like, you know, an extra big event. Like, oh yeah, I'd love to go over and win the Golden Chin, you know. So that's what we're hoping for.
Listen, it's been a pleasure you guys watching. Thank you to everyone on the Twitch stream or Facebook or YouTube, wherever you've been watching back. Thank you so much. Again, a great weekend of Warhammer. Really, really excited. Next time you're going to see a weekend of Warhammer from the Honest Wargame is we'll be doing the HeroPhase podcast. Don't forget, we've also got Bloodshed in the Shire, another big event coming up soon, so that's going to be really fun. And as always, thank you to everyone who subscribes on Twitch and Patreon. The fact that you support the show allows us to put all the hard work and effort in to keep improving everything that we're trying to do in the future. So you guys really are the superstars of the show, so thanks very much. And until then...
that money goes to good use.
Yeah, it does. It does. Jam sandwiches and technological equipment.
And techno rats.
Techno rats. So you guys are the best. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon, and have a great week. Bye.